Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from the Ted Reeve bubble at Fresh and Furious 2017. My name's Trouble T, and I am joining you from the bubble. It's 11:01. We're just about to get started here in our first match between the Thicket from Forest City Derby Girls and a conglomeration of a few different derby leagues going under the name today of Quad City Hot Rods. They are comprised of the Belleville Bombshells, the Northumberland RollerGirls, Lindsay Roller Derby, GTA RollerGirls, and the Peterborough Derby League. So the referees are at the center of the oval, just sorting out the administrative side of what we're going to go through. We've got 20-minute bouts all day today, tournament style, and we'll be getting to the action very soon. I've heard the whistle. Teams are about to line up at the jam line for our first jam of the day.
Hello, everyone. I was just jumping in here to help out my fellow friends. My name is Professor Rex from Royal City, and I will be helping out on the stream today.
There's the whistle, and we're underway. You're watching live streaming action. We've got the Thicket in the neon green, and wearing purple is the Quad City Hot Rods, who have taken lead jam position. Blockers are setting up.
It looks like the Thickest jammer was a little bit confused of whether she was lead or if she got a penalty. Did decide to call off the jam. It ends the jam before any score, or actually, no, it looks like 3 points were given to the Quad City Hot Rods.
And that was Gambullet as lead jammer, wearing the star for Quad City. We're lining up now for our second jam. Little late toss of the pivot penny, but it looks like Quad City's ready to roll. Both jammers are on the line, waiting for the whistle.
Quad City starting this jam down one blocker. A little bit of a disadvantage, but the Thickest jammer is making a go of it. Quad City with lead jam. Looks like Blue Brawls takes the lead jam.
Yeah, there was a mess of skaters on the concrete there, and Blue Brawls managed to get through the thicket of Thicket skaters and Quad City Hot Rods.
Blue Brawls hits that pack hard. It looks like she did pick up 1 point. Actually, no, it is the Thicket picking up 1 point on the back end there. Blue Brawls unfortunately called off the jam a little bit too late and did not pick up points. We also have a skater down on the track.
That looks like Thicket skater number 29, Buster Brown, and all the skaters are taking a knee now.
Yeah, it looked like Quad City's skater did enter the pack a little hot. I'm not sure if that's what caused the injury or if it was from just falling.
If you're joining us online and you're not too far away from East York, why not swing by Ted Reeve Arena for, I believe it's $20. You can get a pass for bouts throughout the entire day. We're going to be here well into the evening as we work through the bracket up to the finals. We've also got tons of sponsors, tons of vendors here in the arena. Matches going on in both the arena and the bubble all day. So come on down and join us if you're close by. Derby action until the sun goes down.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a beautiful day outside as well. It's roughly 24 degrees, I think, or that's what I'm told it's going to be later. So if you are walking around the downtown beaches area, please come by the Ted Reeves and Bubble and join us for the fun. The skater doesn't look like it's too serious of an injury. The paramedics are out there currently from Spectrum 1. At all derby events, we bring out paramedics just to ensure that everyone's safe and has someone that can come out and look after you if there is a potential for injury. It is also a part of the rules. You have to have some paramedics in the building.
Yeah, that's right, Rex. And I've heard it said that the paramedics are the most important people in the building, because, as you say, you can't go on if they're not present. And having been at this a while, as I know you have, Professor Rex, has seen a fair number of injuries, because it is a full contact sport. There's no way around it. So it's very important to have them here. Lots of knee sprains, lots of ankle injuries, lots of hard hits. So it's wonderful to have medical staff on site who are able to help the skaters.
That's true, and these skaters do train hard for almost 12 months of the year before this tournament, and they're essentially training at what is called the minimum skills, the WFTDA minimum skills, and they all have to pass that in order to be able to skate, just for the insurance purposes. And all these steps are put in place to make sure that everyone is safe and able to play this quite intense contact sport.
That's right, and you can hear the applause in the background as a skater does leave the track under her own power, cleaning up a little bit of the sweat, the blood, sweat, and tears from the center of the track. And skaters are lined up and they're ready for only the third jam of the game. We've got 18 minutes, 19 seconds still on the clock. We're in the starting time of the starting moments of this game. Quad City Hot Rods up 3-1 over the Thicket.
Just a little backstory from the Quad City Hot Rods. It is a group of 5 roller derby leagues, and they only have 10 players here currently. It's a quite short roster, so it'll be interesting to see if they do get out of this game with a win, how far they can go and can carry on with the stamina and endurance that you need for an entire tournament like this.
But it's important to note that their coaching staff is incredibly experienced, incredibly dedicated, so it will be interesting to see how they come together. Quad City's picked up a lead jam, but they've also picked up a penalty, so they're a little shorthanded on the blocking side. But Cricket goes ripping right through the pack despite being shorthanded, now by 2 blockers. But their jammer Cricket has already ripped right through the pack and is posting some points to the board.
And it looks like both teams are having trouble keeping the packs together. The referees are signaling no pack, but I'm not sure if they're quite aware of where they need to be sometimes. These skaters have only been involved in the sport for 12 months, so some errors do happen in the gameplay. Looks like Temper Tantrum is being instructed to go back onto the track because, she can now report to the box because there is one player from the Quad City on the track now to make the pack actually work.
And as we've been discussing that, Cricket, the jammer, has just been tearing through the pack, posting points, but she's followed closely behind by the Thicket's jammer, number 15.
Nice offensive block from the Quad City Hot Rods pivots, Gamboulet.
And there's Cricket taking it to the inside around the, she just got bumped out of bounds and has to go to the back of the pack. As
Gamboulet definitely looks like she's skated for a little while, possibly some other sports background. She is really taking it to the Thickets, blockers, and opposing jammers.
This has been a major jam. Just look at the points that have been posted already so far. 27 points that Cricket has posted, and the Thicket, not to be outdone, have already posted 12 points. So that is a major, major scoring jam for both teams. And as we look at the final tally, it looks like Thicket have picked up 3 more. So that jam is now 27-15 with your total score 30-16 in favor of Quad City.
Yeah, that's right. When both jammers go to the box or one jammer doesn't get lead jam, then it does create a 2-minute jam, which is the maximum amount of time one jam can go on. And when that happens, usually a lot of points do go up on the scoreboard for both teams. The referees are just taking a quick official timeout to make sure that they have all of their all of the things in place. This sport changes rapidly and quickly, which is why there is usually 7 referee crew to make sure that all things are working properly.
And aside from the referees, we've got lots of non-skating officials as well on the track, at center track, manning the penalty bench area. But we've heard the whistle now. The skaters are lined up, and we're getting ready to start the 4th jam of this game with 15:44 left on the clock. Oh, a hard hit.
Hard hit for
sends Red Rebel.
I believe she got a high block penalty for that hit, but it did help slow down the jammer enough to, despite losing lead jam, the Thickets are being chased very rapidly by the Quad City jammer.
And Quad City jammer number 43, Vanna Helsing, took a big slide outside of the track, but she's back up on her skates, back up around the pack, and posting points.
Both jammers come to the pack, picking up 4 points each. It looks like the Thickets are content to run this jam just to put some points on the board in hopes that they can stop the Quad City jammer. They cannot. Van Helsing comes through for another 4 points. I believe they outscored the Thickets on that jam despite not having the lead jam. Yeah, that's correct. 9-4. Quad City wins that jam.
Yeah, we did see another 5 points there up on the board just as Red Rebel got pushed to the inside of the track, and she tried calling off the jam, but it wasn't soon enough. And that actually sent Red Rebel to the penalty bench. She was the jammer for Thicket, and that means that the Quad City Hot Rods are going to start this jam in a power jam situation. They'll have the only jammer out on the track, and they'll be the only team able to score any points until Red Rebels' penalty has been served.
That's correct. Another quick official timeout by the referees. Phantom Slim, the crew head for this game, is talking to Jax, just making sure that all things, or at least letting Jax know what is going on. It's good to have a good communication between the refs and the coaches and captains of all teams. The referees are there to make sure that the game is being played fairly and safely and in a timely manner.
And in the spirit of this event, some of the, as we mentioned already, as Professor Rex mentioned already, the skaters are all relatively new. That's the name of the event, Fresh and Furious. This is the fresh meat, the fresh skaters, but also some of the officials, referees and non-skating officials included in that, are also new to those roles. They may be skaters or former skaters who have wanted to expand their knowledge of the game. So some of them are new. A little extra administration might be involved in getting the game rolling. But as it stands, we've got the official timeout. We're reviewing some penalties, but we've heard the whistle. We're ready to get started. 39-22 is your score. Quad City Hot Rods over the Thicket.
Yeah, it looks like they had to put a couple extra players for the Quad City into the box. 2 are sitting and 1 standing for the Quad City. They have been into some penalty trouble, so let's see if it does not affect them because they're still on a power jam. They do have lead, and they have lead in the score as well.
They've only got 1 blocker and their jammer. Thicket has no jammer and 3 blockers, so it is a very, very slim population on the track at the moment.
That's a very big hit from Cataclysm on number 2313. That's Gam Bullets, but she got up really quickly and pushed her way through the pack to lead jam. Now is coming around for a scoring pass and does pick up a very quick 5-point pass. That is a grand slam, the first grand slam on this, or actually the second grand slam on this jam.
And we've seen skaters coming out of the penalty area. Red Rebel is back out, so there is a jammer now on the track for the Thicket. She's having a little bit of trouble finding a way through Quad City's blockers. A big hit there from Justice Prevails.
So that would be a third. This is now the 4th scoring pass.
With Red Rebel coming out of the box, she has just made her first pass through the pack, so she's eligible to score now. It's already 20 points on this jam for Quad City, and the jam is over. So with 13 minutes left in the bout, the Quad City is up as the score climbs 63-22. That was a 24-0 jam.
That's a huge jam. It's hard sometimes as a team to see those points go up on the board and trying to come out and win the next jam, but that is the most important thing you can do as a team is forget that jam happened. The next jam is a new jam and try to win back jams as for the rest of the game. There is still 12 minutes and 30 seconds on this clock. It is still anyone's game.
And in these short 20-minute games, you've got to make most situations, as we saw Quad City do there, making the very most that I think they really could have.
Quad City's pivot picking up a clockwise block quickly there. It did spring the Thicket's jammer, number...
Lean and Mean, I saw.
Lean and Mean.
And she's approaching the back of the pack again. Let's see if she can get something rolling. for Thicket, and she does.
And the
just
Thicket
getting through the path.
The
right
Thicket
there.
doing exactly what they needed to do is pick up and put up points in the next jam after that big 24-point jam. Little jammer on jammer action here in the turn 1.
But Vanna Helsing wipes out and wasn't able to lay the hit that she wanted to on Lean and Mean. Lean and Mean running right into the back of the pack, and Vanna Helsing tries to take it to the inside, wipes out again, but stays in bounds. She's back up and picks up 5 points.
It looked like she may have picked up a cutting penalty, but the OPR on the outside said that it was good. So it was overturned.
Still 1 minute potentially left in this jam. Vanna Helsing gets through the pack, but takes a hard fall. She is back up. Lean and Mean hits the back of the pack and just manages to stay inside for a moment before being bumped out by number 5, Cricket, for the Quad City Hot Rods.
Lean and Mean calls out the jam there, keeping the score 9-9. It does pull the ratio up. A little points on the end there. So actually 12-9 for the Thickets. It does pull that ratio closer, but the Thickets really have to start putting up points on the board and not allowing Quad City to put their own up. If they continue on this trend, it will be quite difficult to actually close this gap if they keep trying to score in this fashion.
Yeah, we're just approaching the halfway point of this bout, so they need to turn something around really quickly. With these 20-minute bouts, they're very short. If you get behind early, we really got to work to take back some points.
Blue Balls again with the lead jam. She's already coming up around turn 1 for her first scoring pass of this jam. Let's see if she can make it through.
And she's got a power jam now as Gnarly Quinn, who is a jammer for the Thicket, picks up a penalty and is skating back. So Blue Balls picking up 5 points there. Power jam situation for the Quad City Hot Rods, looking to extend their lead even further. Blue Balls passes the pack with no problem there.
That's true. And she's already picked up 10 points in this jam. And there's still likely 15 seconds left on that power jam. Penalty minutes in this game are only 30 seconds long. You can pick up multiple penalties to extend that, but if you just pick up one, they are only 30 seconds long. So they are over quite quickly, but when you are on the power jam, it is likely that you can put up points as Blue Brawls is right now.
Yeah, I saw some great blocking there from Quad City, just clearing a path for Blue Brawls. Gnarly Quinn is out of the box now and looking to see what she can do.
And just as Blue Brawls was scoring her last pass, she unfortunately hit someone in the back and is going to the penalty box for a back block. The power jam is swung the other way, so hopefully the Thickets can at least put up some points on this jam before it ends.
Gnarly Quinn had a little bit of difficulty getting through the pack, but in a couple quick steps was able to make it through. That's only her first pass through the pack, though, so she didn't pick up any points. She's now eligible to score, and let's see what she can do.
It's true, and Blue Brawls would have some pocket points in the penalty box right now, so when she comes on the track, she has already scored those points.
All right, if you're watching online, then you already know that we've got the scoreboard now on the stream with the timer showing time remaining in the jam as well as time remaining in the bout. It does say period 1, but there is only 1 period in this bout. So with 8.5 minutes to go, we've got the jam being called as over. 19 points on the board for Quad City, 3 for the Thicket, and Quad City just continues to dominate on the scoreboard.
It is if you get lead jam, score some points, and go to the box as a jammer, it isn't as detrimental as going to the box in your first pass. At the very least, the Quad City jammer already has scored points, went to the box with points in hand, and then was able to come out and continue to score. Unfortunately, the Thickets went to the box without having their first pass, which makes it quite difficult to put up points. Even though you have time on the board, it's just that extra pass makes it, it takes that extra bit of time to put those points up.
We've got a timeout here now being called by the Thicket. And just looking back at some of my notes here, we just had a 19-point jam for Quad City. We've earlier had a 24-0 jam, and before that, a 27-15 jam, slimmer margin, but still heavy-duty points that they're posting jam after jam. So they're really running away with this, as you can see on the scoreboard. 90-37, only 11.5 minutes into the bout. That's a pretty heavy offensive onslaught that we've seen.
It's
from
true.
Quad City.
In this, fresh tournament, if you have jammers that can skate and get through and are tough, it's quite difficult for a team to keep up. If you have jammers that can do that, and if you have a blocking team that can play defense well as well, you're a pretty tough team. And it looks like Quad City has both of those going for them. The Thickets have been marred by a little bit of penalty trouble during this game, especially to their jammers. And it looks like their jammer again is going to the penalty box for a forearm call. Another power jam for the Quad City Hot Rods.
And just to expand on what you were saying before there, Cricket, what a skater, ripping right through the pack. But just to expand on what you were saying, it's the knowledge of, aside from skating skill, knowledge of the rules is really beneficial in this as well. We've seen a lot of delays and missed opportunities because of confusion and just trying to sort out where skaters are supposed to be.
That's right. Cricket does look like she skates like a hockey player, so it's possible that she has been involved in other sports, especially on the skates before. But she's already picked up 15 points on this jam. That is incredible. All 3 passes, she has been barely touched by the defense. The Thickets really have to talk about how to get their defense together to make sure that the jammer at least has a bit of trouble getting through, just like that last pass right now.
We've seen Dominatrix now has served her penalty. She's back out on the track, but she's got a lot of work to do and won't get a chance to do it as Cricket calls off the jam after posting what I believe to be 19 points. So there's another 19-0 run, back-to-back 19-0 jams.
If you can see the scoreboard on the stream at home, just know that the 19 points that went up for the Thickets were for the Quad City Hot Rods. So the score is going to be adjusted now. I think they're trying to correct that quickly. Yeah, Phantom Slim just took an official timeout to make sure that all things are correct.
And that 19-point jam will push Quad City over the century mark. That'll get them to 109, if my math is correct. And there we are, 109-37.
With a score of 109, it is impressive that the Thickets still have put up 37 points. Usually at this tournament, if a team is putting up close to 100 or more than 100 points, the other team has trouble to score. But both teams have shown that they can put up points, so the Thickets just have to settle a little bit down on the defense, get their penalty trouble in check, and they can maybe come back in this game.
Well, speaking of penalty trouble, it's another power jam off the line for the Quad City Hot Rods as Thicket's jammer is in the box. So they're definitely not going in the right direction so far. Vanna Helsing gets a huge hit, an incredible hit right in front of our table from that was hardcore hazard.
That was a really well timed clean hit. It was right to the sternum, but it was in the engagement zone. It did look like it was potentially a penalty, but it was 100% clean.
And to Vanna Helsing's credit, she looked stunned. She got back up on her skates and ripped right around the pack and picked up points and just went around the pack again. So she's doesn't seem too phased by that massive crash that we just witnessed.
Again, this is a tough sport and people do get hit hard. And again, Dominatrix to the penalty box. It looks like for a cutting call this time. The Thickest jammers have essentially given Quad City Hot Rods all of the power jams and all the ability to score these points. If the Thickets want to do well in this tournament, they're going to have to figure out how to knock one in the penalty box as their jammers.
Vanna Helsing again goes inside, outside, picks up a handful of points, hardly bumped on that pass. She has paid her dues already, though, in this jam after that hit from Hardcore Hazard. And once again, right through the pack. Unbelievable.
Vanna Helsing definitely has potential to score, or at least tie. No, she has potential to score the most points in this jam so far. And if she did land that pass, then she effectively does. Let's see how many points she'll put up in this game.
The jam clock is winding down. We were at 6 seconds, and there's the call.
Yeah, 29 points. That's a massive jam. That is the biggest scoring jam in this game so far to Vanna Helsing.
Yeah, that's the highest scoring jam, and holding the previous record for Quad City was 27, but in that jam, 15 points were scored by the Thicket. So this is by far, by 5 points, the greatest margin that Quad City has scored in a single jam. Although, excuse me, the Thicket did post 4 more points in that jam. So 25-point variance, and that is still the highest variance that we've seen in a jam in this bout. As we are now at the 4-minute mark, the the dying 20% of this bout.
Looks like the Quad City Hot Rods have gone to the penalty box and sent the Thickets on a power jam. Hopefully the Thickets can put up a decent amount of points here to get some retribution.
Yeah, leave this with their heads held high. Going to learn a few lessons. This is the first bout of the day, so we'll see how they improve and what they learn from this going forward.
Thickets opting to do a passive offense for this power jam, and it does effectively work. It looks like the Thickets jammer can just go, but she decides to go back and try to pick up that last point before exiting the pack. It's a nice 5-point grand slam for
Sass will kill ya.
Sass will kill ya. Thank you very much.
And the Thicket do have a nice fan base right around turn 2, so they were pretty thrilled to see this power jam. They're all on their feet now, clapping and cheering. 5 points posted by the Thicket. So
unfortunately, Sass will kill you wasn't able to pick up points on just before the jam ended at the end there.
So the clock is still ticking, less than 3 minutes to go. Skaters are lining up. 138 to 46 is your score. I'm not sure if you've got the score on the feed, but you can see it in the background. The scoreboard is in the background. 138 to 46 for Quad City.
Looks like blue balls again for Quad City Hot Rods. Takes the lead jam from the Thickets.
Gnarly Quinn gets bumped a few times, but she's made it around for the Thicket. Blue Balls approaches the back of the pack, gets a little help from her blockers, but not enough, and calls off the jam. 1 point.
Yeah, that was a good call by Blue Balls, staying safe. Every time you do call off the jam, 30 seconds runs off the game clock. This game of roller derby is all about points differential and time. So anytime you can put points on the board more than your other team and run that clock down is a good thing.
So a minute and a half left on the clock, which is still ticking. 139 to 46 is the score. Quad City has dominated this throughout, but the day is definitely not over for the Thicket. They've probably learned a lot in this bout, and they've picked up lead jam as Lean and Mean on one skate is able to get through the pack. Gets a little instruction from the bench and runs right through the pack. And that's the body picking up a penalty for Quad City. She was a jammer. Yeah, so Lean and Mean is now on a power jam for the Thicket. And let's see if they can end this in style.
And this is exactly what the Thicket needs. They had already scored 4 points on the previous pass, and now they're on a power jam and already have 9 points. So hopefully they can put up a decent amount of points so they can walk away from this game with a little bit more confidence.
Certainly a big differential as well between the jam clock and the game clock. So 30 seconds left on the game clock, and Lean and Mean just keeps rocking and rolling here. Has picked up 14 points on this jam so far. A little bit gassed as we're at the end of the bout, but certainly a nice way for the Thicket to end this bout.
That's correct. And if you're following at home, despite the period clock being at 5 seconds left, it goes by the jam clock, so the Thicket can run this jam for another 30 seconds, even though the period clock is now over. There is technically still another 30 seconds in the game.
Power jam is over as the body comes off the bench. It looks like she thinks she's getting another penalty, but she's not. Puts her at the back of the pack and unable to really do any damage on the scoreboard. And the Thicket are really running away with this jam. What a great ending for them. As we have 10 seconds left in the jam, Lean and Mean with 19 points.
Lean and Mean looked gassed going on that last jam, but still found a way to pick up the last scoring pass. Great job. Ending with a 23-point jam for Lean and Mean. That was great for the Thickets. Lots of positivity for their team going into the next game.
Really wonderful. So the unofficial final score posted on the board right now, 143 to 69 for Quad City. And a really exciting and and good finish for the Thicket, hoping to carry that momentum through to their next bout and forget the first 15 minutes or maybe 18 minutes of this bout.
That's correct. The difference in this game was definitely Quad City Hot Rod's ability to keep the pack together and understanding of the game. It does look like they're very well coached and they know the sport of roller derby quite well. If you have those things in place, you're going to do well in this tournament. Quad City Hot Rods for the win, 143.69. I am Professor Rex. Thank you very much.
And I am Trouble T signing off. Stay with us. Lots and lots and lots of derby action yet to come.
Hello, everyone at home. I am Professor Rex again, and we are back at it at the Fresh and the Furious Tournament 2017 with Le Québécois and the Windsor Assault. Windsor Assault, Border City / Detroit Roller Derby.
There we go, an international team, and then we've got Les Québécois, comprised of Roller Derby Sherbrooke, Roller Derby Trois-Rivières, and Roller Derby Lévis. Obviously from Quebec. My name's Trouble T. I'm happy to be back with Professor Rex. Both teams are getting the last little bits of information from their coaching staff, planning the last little bit that they can, and are about to hit the track as we wait for the starting whistle.
That's right, and teams from Quebec tend to do fairly well at this tournament every year. Montreal Smashwad, RDQ. RDQ is not here this weekend, but we have Le Québécois with Roller Derby Sherbrooke, Roller Derby Trois-Rivières, and Roller Derby Lévis.
So Les Québécois are in the black jerseys, if you're watching at home, and Windsor Assault is in yellow. And right off the mark, Valkyrie from Les Québécois has taken lead jam.
That's right, and Crowbar from Windsor Assault wasn't far behind. It looks like she'll have to quick hit it and quit it from the Québécois jammer, and she does. Oh, I thought she was trying to call it up, but she decided not to. Oh, that's unfortunate. Crowbar does cut the inside of the track, and the referee did signal the penalty and is in the box. This is a power jam for Les Québécois to start the game.
Although they did, their jammer Valkyrie did have quite a bit of trouble getting through the pack on that first pass, with Machete Spills, Lil Bo Reaper, and Slamazon putting up a great wall to block her, but she does rip through on that second pass. We'll see how she does in this power jam.
That's right, Trouble T. It looked like during the warm-up, both teams are fairly familiar with this game and can skate quite well, so this should be an interesting game, closer game than possibly the last one.
Valkyrie is a really skilled skater. I can see that even just in this short amount of time. Cutting inside, outside, great crossovers, really confident on her skates.
That is correct, but Crowbar does get through the pack quite quickly a second time. That was her scoring pass. She does put 4 points up on her team to come out of the jam, at least with a few points on the board for Windsor Assault.
So after that first jam, 16-4 is your score, with Les Québécois out ahead.
Yeah, if you're making your way down to watch this tournament live, just know that there's a few roller derby shops here if you need some equipment. Rumbling Rage is here, as well as Neon Skates. Rumbling Rage is from this side of Ontario. Neon Skates is from the northern Ontario, up near Ottawa and Perth area.
Another slick skater in the jam position, Lil Witch for Les Québécois. A long and lean skater. She ripped right through the pack with very little trouble. But Ripple, wearing the yellow for Windsor Assault, manages to bust her way through as well.
Yeah, Little Witch hitting one of the blockers and moving them out of the way and taking that inside line for her first scoring pass. It looks like Les Québécois might be content to just run these jams, because this tournament is a little different from most games. You have to, it's all about putting the most amount of points on the board as opposed to just keeping the differential at bay.
Little Witch went all the way to the outside of the track, then all the way inside, out of bounds, and called off the jam. Nice strategic move. Each team putting 4 points on the board, so Les Québécois are still out ahead. Score is 20-8.
It is, both these teams are playing a little bit short. Looks like Le Québécois has 10 skaters, 2 skaters. Bruce Willis, Lilas wasn't able to make it, as well as ND Story, but they are skating today with a group of 10 skaters.
Here's Valkyrie again jamming for Les Québécois, cutting and just steady and confident on those skates. Vonnegut picks up a penalty as the jammer for Windsor Assault. So here's Valkyrie again on another power jam.
Again, pretty nice block from Le Québécois pivots to move the Windsor Assault blockers out of the way for Valkyrie to pick up an easy points. Valco's really able to slice and dice this Windsor Assault team, despite them having some decent formations. They just aren't able to figure out how to stop Valkyrie quite yet.
And we can see in the last 2 passes, Valkyrie has just come straight up the middle of the track and made a last-minute decision, cutting ever so quickly to the outside or to the inside based on where the blockers are set up.
That's true. It looks like Le Quebecois has worked quite a bit on the offensive side of the game, which is something that is been picking up in roller derby over the last 2 or 3 years, is the offensive end of the game as opposed to the defense. Your blockers essentially need to be able to play defense and switch quickly to offense and back again.
Vonnegut is just stuck at the back of the pack until she picks up some help from her own blockers to move Les Québécois blockers out of the way. She was struggling to get through. Valkyrie gets smashed by Sweet Leggy Jane and Puppet Masher. A little pinball action bouncing between the 2 blockers, but she's back up and the jam is called.
That's right. If Windsor Assault wants to stay in this game, they have to keep the jammers on the track. It has been the story in the previous game as well as this game so far. Jammer penalties has been the death of a team, especially if the team that you're giving it to knows how to work their offense properly and put up those big points. And those were big points, 26-0 for Le Quebecois over Windsor Assault in the last jam.
That puts Valkyrie at 41 points in 2 jams, which is a pretty solid showing. Lil Witch now jamming, and we saw some success from her earlier. Not as far as points go necessarily, but the confidence and the smooth skating. She's done quite the opposite of what we saw from Valkyrie, where she's posted some points and calls off the jam. Again, a very close scoring jam.
That's correct. I thought Little Witch may have picked up a cutting penalty on that first pass, but I guess her foot did not touch down on the inside of the track after she got knocked down. That jam scores Le Quebecois 5, Windsor Assault 4.
We're 6 minutes into this one, and once again it's Valkyrie. So they're switching, it seems, between Valkyrie and Little Witch. Ripple is out jamming for Windsor Assault. And Valkyrie just straight to the inside, right around Evil Mary, Slamazon, and Puppet Masher, the blockers for Windsor Assault.
Really good offense from the Windsor Assault, springing their jammer for those 4 points. That was really well timed and together. It looks like Windsor Assault as well just has been working on their offense. Again, that was a 5-4 jam, but Windsor Assault is going to have to start putting up big points here to get this score back in check.
Yeah, we've definitely seen their blockers strategically moving the opposing team's blockers out of the way a couple of occasions already in the first 7 minutes of this bout. We're only 5 jams in, and we can see clearly the characteristics of the different teams.
Oh, I think the Quebecois jammer, Little Witch, has taken a cutting penalty on the outside. This will be the first power jam for Windsor Assault, so hopefully they can figure out their offense to get good points. And that looks like an easy point for Vonnegut. I think Le Quebecois had trouble getting their defensive structure in place.
Wu-Tang Flan picks up a blocking a penalty for Windsor Assault. So let's see if Vonnegut can keep a good thing going. They were down by 40 at the beginning of this jam. They've narrowed that down now as Vonnegut has picked up 10 points so far in this power jam.
And Le Quebecois are bleeding blockers to the penalty box. This is not a good sign for them. It looks like they've pinched off the inside line for Vonnegut again. Another 5 points. It's 15 points so far in this jam for her. Little Witch being picked up by both Windsor Assault's blockers and held in the pack longer. Nice job by the 2 blockers, Slamazon and
Sweet Leggy
Jane. That's a good blocking combination for Windsor Assault on the track.
Yeah, knocked Little Witch out of bounds, prevented some points there, and a huge jam now for Windsor Assault, their best showing of the bout so far. It was Vonnegut posting 15 points, a 15-0 run for Windsor Assault. Score is now 56-31 with 11 and a half to go.
Yeah, you can see at home how big the power jams are. Both teams have put up big numbers on it, and if your jammers can't figure out how to stay on the track, you're going to have a short time at this Too Fresh tournament. They are only 20-minute games, so if the score gets out of hand, there is no second half to talk to your team and figure things out and make sure they settle down.
Looks like both teams are going to start shorthanded here. I think I see one player from each team serving penalties right now. So shorthanded by one blocker each, but each team will have their jammer on when we're ready to start the 7th jam of the bout.
That's right, and it is both pivots from each team. So the pivot is essentially an option for the jammer to star pass to. There was a few more things the pivots did years ago in roller derby, but currently it's generally the pivot is a second jammer option. So if your jammer is having trouble, the jammer can take the star off of their head, pass it to the pivot, and the pivot can take over as a jammer. But both of those are in the box for the Quebecois and the Windsor Assaults.
We haven't seen a star pass yet this morning, and it is still morning for the next couple of minutes. Roller derby action going on all day here at the Ted Reeve Bubble and the Ted Reeve Arena at the Fresh and Furious 2017. And if you're sticking with us all day, at the end of the day, there will be the Louisa Hart Award. Gitar, who's hosting this tournament, lost one of their skaters, who went by the name of Hack Kerouac, and they have an award in her honor to celebrate her passion for the sport. Valkyrie is out jamming again for Les Québécois, and it is Crowbar jamming again for Windsor Assault.
Yeah, Valkyrie making easy work of this Windsor Assault defense, despite Windsor Assault having some good structures and some good defensive responsibilities.
Ooh, Crowbar stays in bounds just by a half a wheel.
Yes.
Valkyrie with just a classy stand-up move, cuts to the inside, passes the pack, taps on the hips, and calls off the jam after looks like a 9-point score.
Yes, it should be 9 points. Trading points like this for Quebecois is fine as long as you're leading by a decent margin, which they are. They can just continue on this path and win this game, but if they give up a power jam or two to Windsor Assault, the score will quickly swing in their favor, so they have to be a little bit careful of them giving them points, free points.
Yeah, we've seen a crazy mix here so far in the bout. That last jam, 8-4 was the corrected score. We've seen some 5-4 jams, some really tight and close jams, and on the other end of the spectrum, we've seen 15-0 jams, 26-0 jams.
No pack called from the referee, and both teams have a player sent to the box, so now we're down to 3-on-3. Both jammers sent to the pack, with Little Witch in scoring pass, about to score.
And Slamazon, who's been a really effective blocker for the entire bout, is wearing the star penny. Did a quick 180 move at the end of the jam there, and is pretty happy to have picked up a 3-pack of points for Windsor Assault.
It is Le Quebecois tried to hit it and quit it there, but wasn't quick enough on their call-off and did give the opportunity for Windsor Assault to pick up 3 points. If Le Quebecois doesn't stop those free points, again, it's anyone's game, because Windsor Assault proved that they can put up points on that power jam.
Yeah, that's right. If it wasn't for those early super jams that were posted by Valkyrie, who is jamming again, lead jammer, a little confusion on whether she got a penalty or not, but if it wasn't for those huge jams early on in the first and third jam of the bout, this would be a much tighter game. Quebecois still enjoying a 30-point lead.
Nice little apex jump from Little Bow Reapers. Or Little Bow Reaper.
Oh, Valkyrie gets dumped by Windsor Assault's blockers. She gets up, takes a quick look around, super aware of what was going on the track, calls off the jam very strategically, and prevents too many points being scored there by Little Reaper for Windsor Assault.
Yeah, she did. Little Bow Reaper was able to pick up Valkyrie's point as the jammer point at the end there. She didn't pass any blockers, but she did pass Valkyrie for a point.
Doesn't do too much damage to Les Quebecois' lead, though. 6 points posted there for Les Quebecois and 5 for Windsor Assault. So just a 1-point variance there. As these scores, we've seen the margins really slim down here, as I noted earlier. Little Witch again jamming. It looks like only the 2 jammers are going to be used for Quebecois. We're 12 minutes into this thing, and there's only been the 2 of them jamming. Little Witch calls off the jam before even scoring any points. So donuts for both teams.
Yeah, all I can assume is that Le Québécois was positioned in the rear in that situation, so they were giving up too much distance to the opposing jammer and was too close to score points on the end. So they decided to call it off and just run the clock down.
And Valkyrie is going to try and do as much damage as she can. It's already 10 points.
Sweet Leggy Jane going in the penalty box on the clockwise block. Windsor Assault bleeding players with the penalty box. They only have one on the track. That one player is worth 5 points.
Yeah, Vonnegutt's picked up a penalty. Sorry to cut you off there, Professor Rex, but Vonnegutt's picked up another penalty. So with Quebecois at full strength and Windsor Assault only at 1, there's another easy 5 points for Valkyrie.
It is an easy point pass. This is not the jammer you want this is not the jammer Windsor Assault wants on the track during a power jam situation. Valkyrie has been putting up some huge jams in this game and is looking like she's going to put up possibly her biggest one this game so far.
She's already at 24. Her record, if my records are correct, is 26 in this bout. Quebecois really running away with it here as we approach under 6 minutes actually left in the bout, this short bout, extending that lead pretty dramatically for Les Quebecois.
Windsor Assault did pick up 1 point in the end there.
And that gets them past the century mark, Les Quebecois past the century mark, 101 to 44. 102 now as another point is added for Les Quebecois. That's a 28 to 1 jam.
Right. I thought Valkyrie came through for 4 points and then eventually passed the Windsor Assault jammer for that last point. I was wondering if the referees were going to pick up on that, and they did, and they made sure it was correct.
So the teams are starting this jam at full strength. If tradition holds true, then it's Little Witch, and it is. But Crowbar is out in lead jam for Windsor Assault, looking to see how they might end this one. They're deep in a hole, still some time, but maybe not enough for them to make some real damage. But Crowbar is going to work.
That's
Passes
true.
on the inside on one skate. Little Witch is way at the back of the pack, getting bounced around hard by Slamazon. And here comes Crowbar once again on the inside, quick to the outside, up on her toes, but can't stay in bounds. Gets back in, goes to the inside, and picks up a 5-pack. Little Witch still at the back. Can't make any gains right now.
This defensive combo with Slamazon, Sweet Leggy Jane, Little Bow Reaper, and I can't quite see who the pivot is right now. That's Wu Tang Flan. As a really strong defensive group for the Windsor Assault. If they want to get back into this game, I think they need to try and get that combination on the track as much as they can going forward.
Crowbar did some serious damage there. Still in a big deficit, but you can see why she is the captain of the team. 14 points to 0 for Windsor Assault. That brings them to a score of 58, and Quebecois is held at 102. So a nice little jam for Windsor Assault. If they can do that for the rest of the game, then we may have a close score. But we're down to 3.5 minutes left in this one. They've got to really turn it on to even get close.
Valkyrie is just a strong jammer. Windsor Assault has been having trouble keeping her in the pack the entire game. Le Quebecois looks like a strong team with that jammer out there every time.
Yeah, Ripple looked like she had a little confusion off the whistle there. Wasn't sure what was going on, but she is now passed through the pack. Valkyrie is ripping around as she's been doing all bout. Oh, Ripple tries to find a hole through the blockers, doesn't, and goes down as Valkyrie just passes on the inside, the entire pack untouched. Wu-Tang Clan trying to get into assembly there as a blocker. Got her eyes on Valkyrie, but unable to even touch Valkyrie, who's really making the most of this late bout jam. Ripple, not to be outdone, is skating hard, picking up 4 points on that last pass.
Finally, Windsor Assault was able to hold up Valkyrie long enough for Ripple to overtake her and scoring 5 points of her own.
13 points. Sorry, the score is getting corrected as I'm saying this. It's 17 points for the Québécois, and Windsor Assault picked up 13. So that's a pretty slim 3-point margin in favor of Les Québécois, who have enjoyed some really giant swings on some jams and some tighter ones like we just saw. But normally those tighter ones have been in the one-digit sort of range. Score has been corrected again, so 17-12, a 5-point gain there for Les Québécois.
That's right. In a 20-minute game, this is exactly what Les Québécois wants to do, is just put up points and let the clock run out. If this score is a perfect score for Windsor Assault, if there was a second half, they're still keeping in check with them. 119-70 is not a huge lead by any means. That could swing in any team's favor at any moment. So unfortunately for Windsor Assault, the clock is not their friend right now. They have 1 minute and 51 seconds left on the game clock. Le Québécois called timeout, so it stops it there. But if Windsor Assault wants to get in this game, they may have to score 2 of the biggest jams in this game in order to overtake this lead.
Little confusion there from Les Québécois, just trying to sort out their blocking staff. But they're working on their organization, waiting for the whistle. The timeout is still ticking for the time being, so we're waiting for the officials to call it. Timeout is over, and we're getting ready for the 14th jam of this 20-minute bout with 1:51 left on the clock. 119-70 is your score. Les Québécois leading Windsor Assault.
It looks like it's Amazon again with Sweet Liggy Jane. That combination on the track is nightmare for the Les Québécois jammers. Little Bo Reaper trying to get through for Windsor Assault is trying to take the outside there. Held up from Valkyrie, who's now pivoting for Les Québécois.
But she's made it through the pack now, and it is a power jam, actually, for Windsor Assault, as I believe it's Roadrunner who is jamming for Les Québécois, is sent to serve some time.
Yeah, I wish I had the better memory. I think that's Roadrunner's first jam this game.
I can't recall anyone other than Valkyrie or Little Witch jamming up until this point. But both teams have fresh jammers, because we have not seen Little Bo Reaper jamming.
That's right, and often teams will put a fresh jammer out there late in the game, but unfortunately sometimes once you're in blocking mode, it's hard to switch to the jammer mode and not take a penalty as a jammer late in the game.
And on these fresh teams, we can really see a difference in the skill level just from the very basics of the skating between the jammers that we had on the track for that last jam, which has now been called, versus what we've seen from skaters like Valkyrie and Crowbar.
Yeah, Little Bo Reaper getting plowed over there by one of the blockers. She looks to be okay.
Lost the scoreboard. Don't know why. We're just going to have to give him that here. It froze, and now it's not usable.
Okay. Looks like we've lost the scoreboard on the home feed there. I'll let you know that the current score is 119-73. Windsor Assault put up 3 on that last jam, but we're way down to the dying 20 seconds of the game clock. We'll see how long this could potentially be the last jam, so we'll see how long that goes for. It's a timeout being called by Les Québécois. We got Vonnegut just getting her skate tended to by teammate Little Bo Reaper. We saw her jamming. Now she's in the maintenance department, refastening toe stops. But both teams are back on the track. Looks like the timeout is about to wrap up here, as is the entire bout. Let's see what happens in these dying seconds. Oh, a little missed call there.
Often what happens in all levels of derby, the players get excited and they hear the rounding whistle and they think that that's the jam start whistle, but unfortunately that isn't. The referees just get everyone back in place, and now is the 5 seconds. There is the actual start of this jam.
And both teams have regrouped. Looks like Little Witch is back jamming.
Nice job by Crowbar taking that inside line. Another solid defense from this Windsor Assault team. This time it's Slamazon, Sweet Leggy Jane, Machete Spills, and Puppet Masher doing great in the front of the back. And they actually sent. Oh, I thought Le Quebecois jammer cut the track, but I guess she didn't step outside there.
The game clock is down to 0, so this will be the last jam. There's still 1:20 on the clock for the jam, but we'll see how long Crowbar lets it last. Hoping to make maybe the most of this, as Quebecois only has 3 blockers out, and she was able to rip through the pack there in post 4. So this one looks like it will swing in Windsor Assault's favor.
That's true. The Quebecois Crowbar doesn't really have to engage in this pack. I don't believe there's enough time for Crowbar to put enough points on to win this game. And Little Witch looks like she's been trained well into the sport and is really taking her time to make sure that she's running the clock down and making that Windsor Assault jammer work hard for her points.
Yeah, Little Witch is just cruising around, not even skating, hands on her hips, slowly going. Crowbar is doing what she can on the inside on one skate. She's been doing an effective job so far. Unfortunately, it's just way too late in this bout to make a huge impact.
At one point, it was a 56-point lead, if my math is right, which is not the best. So hopefully I was right. I know it's a different now, but again, math is hard sometimes. But it's quite a considerable lead for Le Quebecois over Windsor Assault. They really don't have to do nothing. And being sent to the penalty box as a jammer for Little Witch, it really doesn't affect who's going to win this game. Little Witch is taking her time, strolling to the penalty box.
And there is the whistle as the jam clock runs down. Les Quebecois got the early lead. Looked like they were going to dominate throughout, but those differentials really narrowed down in the last half, especially of this bout. Windsor Assault just on the cusp of hitting the century mark. To say that they ended this bout only behind by 32 isn't where I thought we'd be at this point, actually.
I know it was a little bit from Quebec, Le Quebecois early on, letting Windsor Assault score some points in the back end of jams to keep them in this game. Le Quebecois also late in the game was giving up more power jams to Windsor Assault, which was affecting it. But despite losing this game, Windsor Assault looks like a strong team, and there is multiple ways to the final in this tournament. So it is not over for them by any means. If they get a good run in for the rest of the day, we could see them at least close to the end or even in the finals. It's both really strong teams.
You're absolutely right, and despite the score, I think it's Windsor Assault's defense that we'll be keeping an eye on throughout the remainder of the tournament and the remainder of the day here. And as far as Les Quebecois go, Valkyrie would be the shining star, at least in my mind. I'll be keeping my eye on how she does going forward. Little Witch, very successful jammer as well, but Valkyrie was the standout without a doubt. 15-0 run, 26-0 jam, and a 28-1 jam. She again is the shining star for that one. So let's keep an eye on all the teams going forward, and we'll have another bout for you in just a little bit. I'm Treble T saying goodbye for now.
And I'm Professor X. I will be joining you again for the next 2 games. I've been enrolled in all the streams today, so if you don't like my voice, I apologize at home. You might have to turn down the volume and turn up some music maybe. Anyways, signing off.
Take care.
Yeah. Can you scoot my, yeah, that's done. Just scoot it under here so nobody kicks it. Okay. Yeah. 2 minutes. Because they got that one time.
So, because we're running behind schedule the last set of games, we're going to start the next one at 12:30.
This is Malcontent Reynolds, and I will be up with Professor Rex. We're both from Royal City Roller Girls. Up next in the bubble at the Fresh and the Furious, tournament, we have Royal City Roller Girls, Our Ladies of Pain, playing against Quad City Hot Rods, a team made up of Belleville Bombshells, Northumberland Roller Girls, Lindsay Roller Derby, GTA Roller Girls, and Peterborough Roller Girls. They will be playing at 12:30. We have pushed back the game 10 minutes because we're running a little bit late in the bubble today. Also, if you want to see who's up next and you're watching us on the live stream, click on the information icon. If you click on your inside the video screen, you'll see top right, you'll see the arrow icon, and you'll see the eye icon in a circle. Click on that icon. It'll take you to a link. Click on that link to the GTA Roller Girls website or Layer 9 website, and it'll have the whole schedule that's being updated throughout the day. Check that out. Right now, in the blue, you see Our Ladies of Pain warming up, and in the red, you see Quad City Hot Rods, which is a collection of 5 different teams. Should have been called Quint City Hot Rods, but we're not going to do that. Quad City sounds way better than Quint City Hot Rods. So we'll be up soon. We'll be back soon, Professor Rex and I, at 12:30 for more game action.
Next game's not till 12:30.
that. If you go to layer9.ca and click on Fresh and Furious.
Yeah, but remember, if you're telling them that, they're already there. But it's more tell them where the rosters are. So if you go there, the roster information is there, but it's also there if you just click on the top right-hand corner of the screen. Because they may have got to the stream directly from YouTube.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So it's people get stuff like all sorts of different ways nowadays.
We're back. Who's on the mic?
Hi, this is Professor Rex.
And I'm Malcontent Reynolds, and we are both from Guelph, Royal City Roller Girls. And that's exactly who we have playing on the track today in the bubble in Toronto at the Fresh and the Furious tournament. We have Our Ladies of Pain playing against Quad City Hot Rods. And Craig, Professor Rex, are you ready to tell us about the Hot Rods?
I am ready to tell us about the Hot Rods. The Quad City Hot Rods already played earlier today, and they looked quite strong. This team is made up of a few leagues around: Belleville Bobshells, Northumberland Roller Girls, Lindsay Roller Derby, GTA Roller Girls, and Peterborough. The roster is Justice Prevails, number 007. Number 010 is Blue Brawls. Number 101, Nukem Nick. Number 1111, Gumavala. Number 201, Killer Miller. Number 2020, who isn't here today, Hindsight. Number 222, Temple Tantrum.
Tempeh Tantrum.
Tempeh Tantrum.
For the vegans out there.
Yes, that's very true. Number 2313, Gamblet. Biggie Brawls, number 29, isn't here. Harley Sin, number 3, isn't here. L. Bowie, which is too bad because it's a great name. Number 38 is not here.
You love that name.
I do know that name. 43, Van Helsing is here from GTA.
Van Helsing, I think.
Van Helsing, thank you very much.
Sling.
My ability to read things and say them out loud is probably the worst.
I'm here for you, Rex.
Thank you very much. Number 5, Cricket. Cricket.
That's going to screw me up so bad because
that is not you? That's not you.
That is not me. So my actual real life name that is on my birth certificate and my driver's license is Cricket with 2 T's, and there's a skater who has decided their entire derby name is Cricket. They
with 1 T.
With 1 T.
That's right.
From Lindsay Roller Derby.
And
oh my goodness. If we have an official review, we can talk more about my real life name.
That's true. Number 79, Ruby Menace. Number 7734, The Body, which is also another great name. On the bench for Quad City Hot Rods is Jack Salotopus Blue and Bossy Boots.
And Quad City Hot Rods are in red. We got Our Ladies of Pain coming all the way down to 401 in blue. That is from Professor Rex in my home league. We are not cheering for anyone today.
No, we are not cheering for anyone today at all. I do not like Royal City Roller Girls. They are the worst people I've met. That is not true at all. They're great.
I can never tell your sarcastic voice from your regular voice. It is too similar. So we, from Our Ladies of Pain, we've got 1027, Samwise Slamsy, number 171, Rabid Rabbit, 242, Hit Viper, number 25, Duchess of Doom, number 2980, Nayslayer, who is the captain, number 3, Pablo Kikasso, number 303, H-Bomb. Number 345, and H-Bomb is all capitals, so you gotta, every time you say it, you gotta say H-Bomb!
Yeah, you gotta yell at someone when you say that name.
Yeah. Number 345, Betty Spite. Number 394, another captain, Thomas the Tank. Number 519, Headlock Holmes. Number 55, Silent Spring. Number 555, Killapatra. Number 6, Sleeping Broody. Number 611, Whirlwind. Number 613, Mill Street Bruisery. Way too many syllables. Number 9, Collateral Damage. On the bench is Fidget, Flying Frenchie, and Ronnie Rivet. That is Our Ladies of Pain in blue. We're just about getting ready to roll here. If you want to look at all the rosters and you're watching us on the live stream on Layer 9, just click on the video screen. Click inside where the video is playing. An icon for I will show up. Click on that. It'll take you to a link where you can see all the schedule and all the rosters for the Fresh and the Furious tournament.
That's right. They can, at home, you can read the names and screw them up just like I will all day long.
That's great. I'm having a little trouble with these headphones, in case you're wondering what's going on. It doesn't really work with my braids. It's difficult to wear braids on your head and big
They are very
headphones.
nice braids. There's no way you're able to take those out to make
No,
the headphone.
I'm
You
just-
have to keep those braids in.
Yeah.
They're almost, with the headphones on, you look Leia-esque.
Braids for life.
Princess Leia.
Braids
or
for the
General
win.
Leia. Whichever.
General Leia.
General
for
Leia.
sure.
You would definitely be General Leia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Craig, for that massive compliment. If you want to see what we look like, don't look to Layer 9. Go over to the Royal City Roller Girls Twitter feed. We took a selfie before we got on the mic. That's Royal City Roller. You can see on your screen, Our Ladies of Pain are getting ready with their traditional cheer, which is to get themselves pumped up and to scare the teammates a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. It's a cheer that has been happening in Royal City for a long time now. They all kind of look at each other and yell at each other. And hit each other. Well, not each other. They hit themselves, I guess. They don't want to hit everyone else because that wouldn't necessarily be consensual. So you want to hit yourself.
Yeah, hit your chest, get yourself pumped up. I don't know if this is a power line or not. I don't think so. But Nayslayer is the pivot heading out for Our Ladies of Pain. We got Kilopatra out there, Sleeping Broody, and someone else.
And I will apologize right now, Quad City Hot Rods. We, as a announcing team, will not know as much about Quad City as we do about Royal City.
I see
as we are
Cricket
from the-
pivoting.
Yeah, Cricket is out there. That's for
Yeah.
one T.
What? Cricket's pivoting. Maggie, nope. I got the wrong jammer.
It's a silent spring for Our Ladies of Pain, trying to push her way out of the pack and is able to continue on. Gets knocked down from number 007.
Justice prevails. A huge hit. Knocks Silent Spring down long enough for the red jammer to get out ahead. Quite ahead. She's got a quarter of a track on Silent Spring. It looks like that is Gambullet was the lead jammer. First points on the board are for the Quad City.
That's right, but Windsor Assault having to take a penalty to get their jammer out, so they are starting this jam with 3 blockers on the track. If it continues with the penalty trouble, Windsor Assault just because I have previous information, the first game earlier today,
Who?
they had a bit of
Which team? Quad City?
Quad City. Hot Rods, thank you very much. Had a
This
bit
is
of
your
penalty
third
trouble.
game announcing.
It is my 3rd game in a row. I'm trying to keep everything straight, but Quad City had a bit of trouble in their previous game today with penalties, so hopefully they can keep it in check in this game.
Wow, there. Number 345 from Royal City, Betty Spite explodes through the pack. They haven't even got to turn 1, and they're still having trouble getting that jammer out. She does get out, not lead jammer. Betty Spite, tiny apex jump. That is about 4 points for Royal City already.
Ali Artuso signaling to Betty Spite, trying to get her to call off, and she does, picking up 4 points. It is now a tie game. If you're at home and you're drinking, Roller Derby Custom says that you must drink whatever's in your hand, whether it be a coffee,
A
or
root beer?
a beer.
An adult beverage?
Yes, an adult pop.
Yeah, an adult beverage of choice,
soda
a
pop.
fizzy beverage. My beverage of choice is root beer. Holla at us on the Royal City Roller Girls Twitter if you love root beer.
Root beer is the greatest.
It's the greatest.
That and Dr. Pepper. Everyone puts Dr. Pepper low on the list. It's very high on my list.
Dr. Pepper roasted ham as well. Oh, what you know? Quad City gets lead. Gambullet has been on the track before and had gotten lead. And number 3, Pablo Picasso is trying her best to get out of the pack. Gets a little nudge from Gambullet.
His Gambullet's already on scoring pass, but the defense of Our Ladies of Pain did tighten up there and was able to force a power jam for Pablo Picasso of Royal City Roller Girls. Oh, unfortunately, I think Pablo Picasso picked up a forearm penalty exiting the front of the pack.
There's no jammers on the track now.
There is no jammers on the track. If you're at home and you're wanting to understand what happens now, the jammer that went to the box first gets bounced out by the second jammer to the box.
Who sits for how long?
Who sits for the remainder of the previous jam. Unfortunately, Pablo Picasso wasn't able to follow the instructions of the jammer ref and entered back on the track. It is quite possible that she picked up a second penalty for an insubordination.
Gotta listen to the refs. It's hard to see the box from where we're filming. It's right behind the pack right now.
It is, and Gamboa comes out of the pack. I believe she picks up 5 points on that pass. That was her first scoring pass of this game. Thankfully, if it was only one penalty, there was enough time on this clock to run off the power jam for Our Ladies of Pain. If not, they will start the next jam with a jammer in the penalty box.
Gambullet sneaks by Nayslayer. Nayslayer is correcting herself by really shoving her bum into the infield now. It only takes 2 inches of space for a good jammer to pass. She takes a t-shirt whip off of Cricket like it's 2009, my favorite derby joke. She's sent to the box for reasons. Looks like a back block, and it's going to be another power jam switch in with 4 seconds left in the jam. The score is now 4-14. It's a palindrome score. That's my favorite score to drink for.
Again, a Derby customs say if there's a palindrome, you must drink whatever's in your hand. So if you have a coffee or a beverage or an adult wobbly pop, you must drink.
Score is 4 for Our Ladies of Pain, 14 for Quad City Hot Rods. This is a very well matched bout. You don't see that a lot because a lot of skill level can be very wide at this tournament because they're all skaters in their first year playing.
That's correct. The last jam was a little bit all over the place. A couple of power jams for both teams and some swaps. Silent Spring doing well, pushing through that really solid defense of the Quad City Hot Rods. Quad City Hot Rods jammer is already on the track. Gambullet's trying to get through and pushes through. And Silent Spring gets knocked out of bounds, but calls it off.
I know you've mentioned this before in the live stream. I have to mention it again. This is an extremely sticky floor. And when you're a new skater, you're new to Derby, the floor conditions can really throw you for a loop. And in only 20-minute games, you don't have a lot of time to sit into it and relax and get used to floor conditions.
That's right. And most of these skaters have only practiced for 12 months or less. And they're subject to the floor that they use in their home city. So if it's a slippery floor that they're used to, the sticky floor will really affect them because they're not.
Looks like Cricket is jamming for the first time this game. She quickly gets out ahead of Betty Spite.
It is number 5. Quicket did take an outside line there on the Our Ladies of Pain blockers and got through and is on her first scoring pass. Is bouncing around trying to pick up points, but and I think she picked up a cutting penalty. This will be a full 2-minute jam because Cricket got lead jammer and went to the penalty box. She did score some points before going, but it does leave. Oh man, We're gonna have a lead change.
I'm punching Professor Rex in the arm. I'm so excited.
That's true. We have a lead change, and if you weren't up to speed at home, a lead change also means you have to drink whatever's in your hand. So make sure you take a drink of whatever's in your hand.
En français, c'est Super Jam. We have a power jam for Our Ladies of Pain. Betty Spite is doing the best with it. She takes a little bit of a leap across the apex, and she's sent back to the back. Cricket returns from her 30-second break and is exploding out of the pack there. That's another scoring pass for her, 4 points. No lead jammer. Got 13 and a half minutes left in this entire game, and this is a full 2-minute jam.
That's right. Cricket came into the box. She already had the point she scored going into the box. They just weren't shown.
Sleeping Broody effectively blocks Cricket, but also knocks her down, and Sleeping Broody falls onto Cricket.
I thought that may have been a low blocking call, but it looks like the referees deemed that it wasn't.
Power jam for Quad City. We're seeing a lot of power jams in this short 20-minute game and a lot of reversals of power jams too.
That's true. This was Quad City Hot Rods' problem in the previous game. They gave up too many power jams, or they gave up a lot of power jams to the other team despite winning the game. It looks like Our Ladies of Pain are having some trouble with that as well, and it has been the theme throughout the day. Penalties to jammers are huge, and they put up big points to the other team.
And they really count in these tiny, tiny games. Very, very close game, though, 22-27 for Quad City. And, you know, the lead change could happen again. We had a couple of lead changes just in that one jam.
I know if you're drinking coffee at home, you're going to be wired. If you're drinking something else, you might be something else for sure. I don't know. You might be a little drunk.
At home, take care of yourself just like we would in the arena. It's a long day.
Blue Brawls starting on the power jam for the Quad City Hot Rods. Taking advantage of Our Ladies of Pain jammer being in the penalty box. Is already hitting the pack on scoring pass, and Thomas the Tank doing well. The pivot for Our Ladies of Pain slowing up that jammer. and forces a forearm penalty to Blue Balls. And now Betty Spite is on another power jam.
Whoop, whoop.
That's true.
Let's see what happens with this power jam. What can Olaf do with it? She looks to her bench. Ali Artuzo's Fidget is doing a big circle, telling her to keep pushing, keep going. A little bit of passive offense, moves to a little bit of active offense. They're trying their best. A hat pass to Thomas the Tank. Thomas is telling her, you got to be standing before you pass me the hat. And she is able to push through that Quad City redness and put the hat on her head and get back into that pack.
That's good. I think Nightingale is trying to remember how that worked. Betty Spite did score some points before passing the star, so there should have been some points put up there, but not the full 5 because Thomas the Tank didn't have it on her head to pass the last few blockers. So there may be an official timeout just to correct the scoreboard at the end of this jam, quite possibly.
And star passes are a great way to confuse a ref. At the Olaf versus everybody else in the league scrimmage last Tuesday. And the crowd cheers as Maggie, the Thomas the Tank, makes it through the pack again.
That's right, the crowd is cheering because Royal City brings a fandom everywhere they go.
We have won awards for it.
We have won awards for loud fans.
With a bit of a spin and a miss on the outside of turn 1.
That's right, Thomas the Tank landing right in front of the announcer's table. If it was any closer, I swear she would have landed up in my lap. That might have been a bit awkward. We would have needed to take a selfie at the same time.
And we have a very, very close game. Professor Rex did call it. There is going to be an official timeout to talk about scoreboard, computers, numbers, and things.
That's right. It looks like Nightingale went over there quite quickly to make sure that the points were scored correctly. Like no other game, this game depends on points, and the other thing that's huge is the time on the board. The time doesn't stop unless a timeout happens, which is what currently happened. The officials took this one. So the game clock never stops unless a team takes a timeout or the referees need to make sure things are correct.
And in roller derby, the WFDA rule set says 2.2.2.
I don't know if it's that.
It's not 2.2.2 anymore?
I don't know. They've changed it. I've read through it, but they've definitely changed the numbers.
Oh, darn.
I do think they've changed it from 2.2.2 to
everybody
something else.
with the 2.2.2 tattoo it's now
I know,
invalid.
and everyone at home that knows what it is yelling at me right now. And why don't I not know this?
Tweet at us if you know what it is at _cricket with 2 T's _ at Royal City Roller, please. But 2.2.2 used to say the team with the most amount of points wins. The points do matter, even though just like gender and money, they're made up. They're a construct, but because we believe in them, they matter.
Yeah, they're all. It's like our own god. It's like our roller derby god.
Yeah, it's a construct. We made it up.
Points and time is a roller derby god.
Yeah. So Our Ladies of Pain looking like they're at 37, and Quad City Hot Rods 35. We've got we're almost halfway through this tiny game. Coach Jack's going in the center with, looks like Cricket to do a little bit more chatting. Thomas the Tank and Artuzo Fidget going to talk a little bit with the head ref, Joe the Locksmith.
That's right. And both these teams are coached by some quite reputable people. Jax has been around roller derby for quite a long time and knows the game really, really well. As well as Our Ladies of Pain are coached by 3 people who play on the Royal Cities travel team, the Bootleggers, also quite knowledgeable of the game. And I think that definitely helps both these teams in playing the game at the level that they are currently.
Exactly. When you're coached by an amazing coach, it just makes everything so much easier. And coaching in derby has really grown in the last couple of years.
That's true, unless you're coached by me, and then people get worse. I don't know what it is.
Professor Rex is the coach of our travel teams at Royal City RollerGirls. And it's a real privilege to actually have a coach. Many leagues go without coaches. So to have somebody who has the overall game in their mind and is looking at that in the track and is training you is actually a privilege in roller derby. And we're very lucky to have 3 fresh meat coaches.
It is a nice job by Gamblet pushing through that Royal City RollerGirl defense. But Pablo Kikasso gets out of the pack about 140 feet behind her. Gamblet is going to have to hit and quit on this pack and make sure she scores points and try not to give up. But Pablo Kikasso on the inside picks up 4 points of her own. Windsor, or Quad City Hot Rods, I don't know why I keep saying Windsor, Quad City Hot Rods unfortunately, the defense thought their jammer was going to call out, but weren't in position to stop the Pablo Picasso from scoring points.
Gamblet cuts it down to the wire, lets Pablo go through her own blockers before she calls it off. That's a 4.4-point jam for both of them. Picasso did amazing there to pass the other jammer. I'm curious why she didn't get a natural Grand Slam. Nightingale's going to go talk with the board about that, I think.
Yeah, I thought they may have been on the same pass. If they were on the same pass, then 4-4 is correct. I could be wrong. They may have been on opposite passes. If they were, then Pablo Picasso should have scored another 5, but I think that would make it 9 to... Oh, they are reversing. That's correct. They're reversing and taking the 4 points off Quad City Hot Rods. So you're right.
Change.
Our Ladies of Pain should technically have had 5 points there, not the 4.
And they put the jammer in the box, and it's a power jam for Our Ladies of Pain, and it was a lead change. So we got 41 for Royal City, Our Ladies of Pain. 35, for Quad City Chaos. We heard some gentle reminding of rules from the immense blue cheering section here. I heard Forza, who plays for Killer Queens.
Yeah, Forza likes the rules, and when something isn't going right, she definitely makes to make sure that it's heard.
Betty Spike gets out at turn 1 on this power jam for the Our Ladies of Pain. Lots of help from her blockers.
Here comes the offense from Our Ladies of Pain.
Millstreet and Thomas giving excellent offense, helping her out, not even moving the pack forward at all. This is hot.
That's right. There's a really good, nice offense from Our Ladies of Pain. Offense is something new in the last 2 or 3 years of roller derby.
Wow,
that
ruckus.
Was quite a large hit from Silent Spring. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Fortunately, she didn't hit the blocker in an illegal target zone, or she would have definitely went to the penalty box.
Pack is speeding up a bit as both jammers are on the track, and this is a scoring pass for Quad City. Quad City is a little frustrated. Silent Spring calling it off after 3 points.
That's huge. That's the biggest jam of the game so far for Silent Spring. 13 points for Our Ladies of Pain on a power jam. That is definitely helping them out to separate these points. I believe, if my math is right, which is terrible, by the way, so if I get this wrong, you can make fun of me at home. 19-point difference, am I right?
I can't math.
Okay.
No,
that's good. I can't math either.
Yeah, so make fun of Professor, make fun of me. Just do it quietly to yourself. But this is the biggest. This is the biggest point spread we've seen so far. Our Ladies of Pain are in the lead with 54 to 35. Do the math at home. Tweet at us if you know how to do math.
And Gamblet getting lead jam just before the first turn. Betty Spite having trouble with the Quad City Hot Rods defense, who's gotten better as this tournament's gone on. They're fortunate to have an extra game in their pocket, so they're kind of gelling as a team at this tournament so far. This is Our Ladies of Pain from Royal City's first game so far.
But also reminding that Quad City is like 2 or 3 players from 5 different leagues. So the fact that they're gelling so well is incredible. Props to Quad City for getting on the track for the first time together and winning so big this morning. Coach Jack's calling an official review or an official timeout. Let's see what the jam timer in pink that you see there. I think it's just a team timeout.
Yeah, just a team timeout.
You get 1 per game in these tiny games.
It is showing on the scoreboard for some reason the official timeout being missing, but
everybody's new here. We have new scoreboard operators. We got some new refs. We're all figuring it out together.
I'm new as well.
Yeah, you're new. You're new announcer.
You're new as well.
This is my second year announcing. First ever live stream.
Well, I was making a joke that we're not new. It was like
we're 8 years old and derpy.
That combines between the two of us, well over 10, I believe.
Yeah, between the two of
12.
us. Yeah, our league was founded in June, and I joined in August. And then you came into the league in January.
A year afterwards, after the start of it.
Yeah.
January. 6 years for me, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
7 total.
In August for me, I'll start my 8th year. I bought my new interesting fact about me. Not only is my real life name, my non-derby name, Cricket. Another interesting fact about me: I replaced my skates for the first time in 8 years.
That is. That's incredible.
Shout
I don't
out
know
to
if anyone
Neon
at home
Skates.
who's played roller derby for 8 years has ever waited 8 years to change their skates.
I'm a bigger skater. I weigh 175 pounds, and I'm really clumpy is my style. I clump around a lot. And so Don Cherry at Neon Skates was pretty amazing. And I bought the exact same boots and nearly the exact same plates. The plates I have aren't made anymore. But yeah, that's me.
Wow. You know, you've been playing around when the plates that you started on aren't made anymore. Pablo Cacasso with getting the lead jam right away, taking advantage of some blocker penalties to Quad City Hot Rods.
Vanna Helsing is jamming for the first time in my recollection this game. Pablo has a pretty big lead on her. Pack is moving moderately fast. What do you know? Olop stops in the back. Blocker's just giving her some time. She hops through the pack. Big cheer from the crowd.
That's right. Ali Ortuso, one of the coaches for Arlene Zapain, telling Pablo Cacasso to keep this going because they have the advantage in penalties, and the defense of the Royal City RollerGirls are able to make sure that they keep that jammer in the pack. They've turned a small jam into a big jam. That's 4 points so far, and now it's a total of 9. Let's see if they can put up more points on the board and keep that jammer in the pack.
Our blockers, Our Ladies of Pain blockers, are so effectively holding that jammer back as Pablo just skates through on one skate. She even gets a huge hit from Blue Brawls and stays on her feet.
Huge hit from Thomas the Tank.
Hitting.
Very, very big hit.
Jam is called off because Vanna Helsing head hits the floor and she is down. The jam is called when a skater cannot return to their feet. Everybody takes a knee. The medics are called over. Shout out to the medics from Spectrum One.
Yeah.
We're really, really thankful to have them as sponsors. Coach Jax is coming over to chat with them.
That's right. Thomas the Tank from Royal City has some previous experience on skates playing hockey. That definitely does help when you're learning how to play roller derby. You can already skate, and you understand the fundamentals of hitting.
It helps with skating skills, but I find hockey players have a fear about how we skate. We skate on the front of our feet, whereas hockey skaters tend to sit on their heels. Also, hockey skaters are used to wearing the girdle, the thing that covers from your knees to your waist, and we don't wear that. So I find hockey skaters are scared to fall forward, and they're very scared of wrecking their tailbones because they rely on that girdle very much in hockey. But it does help just with being less afraid of getting on your skates.
That's right, and I didn't see the hit fully. It looked like it was potentially clean.
Looked clean to me.
I think she did hit her head when she fell and hit the floor, which thankfully for the paramedics, they're here to do the concussion test. Or at least the very quick concussion test that they hope will check to see if the player isn't either whiplashed or concussed. It looked like Vanna Helsing was good. She skated up.
Yeah, she skated on her own accord back to her bench. Yeah. Because the jam was called because of medical, that means she can't skate for 3 jams. She has to take a break for 3 jams. That could be the whole game.
With 5 minutes and 50 seconds, 3 jams could be 2 or 3 full 2-minute jams, and that would be the end of the game. The way this game is going, I don't think it will be, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it's more common to have 30-second jams now in 2017 than it is 2-minute jams.
It's very true. I did think the call-off was a little quick, but when there's...
Looks like Maggie Thomas the Tank is getting ejected for a green... Oh, no, she's getting a penalty, not ejected.
Just a penalty. I think they deemed it a high block.
Didn't look like a high block to me.
Yeah, and sometimes, a lot of times, it's the angle of the referees. I
fully trust the refs.
I last year and this year started reffing, and I used to get quite angry with refs when things didn't go my way. Strange.
Has reffing caused you to be a more empathetic coach?
It has. I'm glad I've done it because it is all about the angles, and if your angle shows that it's a penalty, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
And that's just what it is. The refs say it's a penalty, and that's what it is. And you have to
fully trust the refs, and I always tell our fresh meats, never, ever mouth back to a ref. If you're worried about a ref's call, you tell your bench, but never, ever ref. Oh, wow, it's a jammer fight. Those jammers are right on each other's heels.
That's right. And Bullet gets a forearm penalty, pushing your way through the pack. Unfortunately, you cannot use your forearms to push blockers out of your way.
Forearms are your little T-Rexes, everything from your elbow to your hands. You can't push people with those.
And that springs Silent Springer into a power jam with lead jammer, and she scores her first 5-point jam. Silent Springer may potentially be one of the better jammers on this team. It is not a jammer that Quad City Hot Rods want on the track on the power jam, especially this late in the game.
getting help, offensive help from the inside so she can just sneak right through. The crowd is going wild. She waves to the RCRG fans as she's on the apex.
Yeah, it's all about making sure that your friends see you do stuff on the track. That's what sports is about.
Another huge hit from Thomas the Tank to help her out on the inside.
Thomas the Tank living up to her name, tanking around that pack, making sure their jammers aren't being touched.
And we are a very tiny league at RCRG. It's nice to have a big player.
It is. Generally, you are correct. We are a smaller stature team, but not a smaller stature league, that's for sure.
But look at this lineup. A lineup of tall ladies. Sleeping Broody is a bigger player. There's only one blocker left on the track for Quad City, and she's all by herself. I think it's Tempe.
It's true, and if you're at home, that one player is worth 5 total points because each player in the penalty box is still scored no matter what. So every time Silent Springer is passing that one blocker, she is scoring 5 big points for her team.
Look down at the bottom of your screen. You can see the score is 98 for Our Ladies of Pain, 43 for Quad City Chaos. This is a massive power jam for Silent Spring. Professor Rex is going to do some math. This is 30 points so far she's gained. That is amazing. 35-point jam.
35-point jam so far in the bubble because that's the fresh tournament, Fresh and Furious tournament. There is the bubble in Ted Reeves Arena. At the bubble so far, that is the highest point output by a jammer in this tournament by 6 points. I think the previous amount of points was 29, so this is 35. That's a huge jam for Our Ladies of Pain.
You can really rack them up on those power jams, especially when there's only one blocker left on the track.
That's true, and they're worth 5 points. That's huge amount of points.
Another thing to mention is Quad City is playing with a really reduced bench. They have 10 players total on their bench, whereas we brought 16 players to this
bout.
That's right.
Yeah, endurance is a big thing in this tournament. There's a lot of games to be played today. Betty Spike getting lead jam, hitting the pack, about to start scoring and has already scored a couple points and does a really smart call off, getting her 2 points, running that clock down.
2 points to 0 is better than 4 points to 2.
That's right. I say that all the time when I'm coaching. And Malcontent Reynolds or Cricket with 2 T's listens sometimes. Other times she's just telling me to in her head to shut up. Just shut up. Shut up, you.
I love my coaches. Like I said before, we're lucky to have coaches. Lots of leagues work without coaches. We're lucky that we have 3 fresh meat coaches. And it's worth mentioning, I rarely jam. I am a blocker. I am a jammer killer. That's what I'm better at. We're seeing another, looks like new to me, jammer from Quad City. Let's see who it is because we're not sitting behind the jammer line.
A little bit of the pile up there on turn 2, but Pablo Picasso hoping to take advantage of it and does. Pushes her way through the front for the lead jammer, Pablo Picasso.
The body with some really unnecessary air quotes around her name is the jammer for Quad City. She's not lead jammer. We pushed it around to turn 2. Pablo Picasso breaks up that pack and is able to slide through.
I believe Ali is going to get Pablo Picasso to just run this jam because, again, this game is about points and time. If you can run the clock down when you're leading at this differential, you're going to win the game.
Kilopatra is just taking on the body one-on-one, and you're seeing they're able to recycle her again and again, just keep in front of her. Kilopatra gets a penalty, 3 blockers left from Olaf. They're able to get into a pyramid. Nayslayer wraps her whole body around the Quad City jammer and is able to just keep her back. Has she even made it out of the pack once?
She has not. This is still the first pass for this is the second pass actually for the Quad City Hot Rods jammer. Nayslayer, though, doing a number on the body. Nayslayer has really developed as a great blocker for the Royal City RollerGirls, and it shows because she's taken the pivot stripe. Usually someone with the pivot stripe knows the game quite well, just like Thomas the Tank, who's entering the track, and Justice Prevails from Quad City Hot Rods. I've been watching her in this game, in the last game, and Justice Prevails has been taking it to the other teams as well.
Justice Prevails is incredible. She is great in a team blocking situation and in a solo blocking situation, which it's hard to see. Watch her do that backwards blocking there. Just with her shoulder, she's able to keep Silent Spring back.
That's right. She's very comfortable on her feet. And Silent Spring, unfortunately, is able to juke her out and get lead jammer and is now on scoring pass. There is only 17 seconds on the clock. Technically,
You're able
She
to-
doesn't have to engage the pack, but decides to, regardless of Ali Ortuzzo's second thoughts. There is 4 seconds left. She can call it off once this time runs down, and it is a game in hand for the Our Ladies of Pain. Wow.
Wow. Wow, Craig. Wow, Professor.
Yeah, that was a good performance from Our Ladies of Pain, and also a good performance from the Quad City Hot Rods, who come to us from 5 different leagues. Skaters from Belleville Bombshells, Northumberland RollerGirls, Lindsay Roller Derby, GTA RollerGirls, and Peterborough Roller Derby. Both teams look really, really solid. I don't think this is going to be the last time we see Quad City Hot Rods.
No.
There's many ways to the final in this tournament. It's not going to be the end of that team, I guarantee.
Teams that are represented there, I think we're going to see Quad City again. It was nice to see how close they were in the beginning, how it took Our Ladies of Pain a little while. It was their first game of the day to get warmed up, to get together, to remember what it is to play roller derby.
That's right. It's funny. Every time we send a fresh meat team to this tournament, our fresh meat teams don't think they're any good.
Yeah.
And then they get here and they do quite well. And I think, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, they have to scrimmage sometimes against the rest of the Royal City League, and they kind of beat up on them a bunch. So they don't feel like they're as good because they're getting their behinds taken to them a little bit by the rest of the league.
And that's our tradition at Royal City. The scrimmage before Fresh and the Furious, we always make our fresh meat team scrimmage against the entire rest of our league, and that prepares them.
Or at least whoever can show up that day.
Yeah.
But it's usually it's usually quite big. It's usually 20, 25 at least they have to go up against.
Veteran skaters. I have 8 years on me. It's veteran skaters who are on our WIFTA charter team, the Bootleggers. It's a hard match. So we did see them get rolling and remember, hey, we're playing roller derby. Hey, we trust our coaches. Hey, we trust our teammates. We saw them really own the track, and we're going to see Quad City again for sure in this game. 123-47 for Our Ladies of Pain. If you want to check out what happens on the schedule, please click on that eye icon on Layer 9 and go to the Layer 9 website. It has the rosters there. It's got the schedule there. Quad City should be very proud of what they did on the track. It was incredible. High fives to Coach Jax, literally giving him high fives right now. We're Professor Rex and Malcolm Temp Reynolds. Coming up next is more derby, and it will be Professor Rex and I back on the mic again.
That's right. I'll see you in a second.
Let's go to the washroom.
Yeah, the washroom's good.
This team and that team.
Jax, if you need, I can stay on the screen.
Okay. I want to jump in. Well, you guys are on the next one anyways, the 1 o'clock one.
Okay, yes.
Which is now 1:15. I'm gonna work on the schedule right now.
This next game is. Do you want me or no?
What is game 8?
Am I talking or no?
This is game 8.
I don't think so. I think it's T again. It's the same seat.
Do you want to do the house?
Wonderful.
And give T a break because he hasn't had a break yet. Okay, I'll get it.
So that's the Ann Arbor mob, right? Against
There we go. It's
Quebec, right?
Malcontent Reynolds back on the mic with Professor Rex. We are running a bit late in the bubble today. This bout was supposed to start at 1. It's going to start at 1:15. We want to be fair and give everybody their track time. This bout starting up at 1:15 in 4 minutes. We'll see Anne Lansing's Dixons versus Les Québécoises. Anne Lansing Dixons will be in white. Les Québécoises will be in black. Would you like to start reading us, Professor Rex, the Anne Lansing Dixons? Sorry, I just put my clipboard on your mic. Do you want to read us the Anne Lansing Dixons roster?
Absolutely, I will. Anne Lansing Dixons / Ann Arbor Derby Dimes. 1057 Huffle Punch. 138 Pretty Bullets. Number 15 Dangerous. Number 21 Genergy. Number 36 Emma Biotic. Number 37 Ms. Hyde. Number 4 Smash Squatch. Number 42 Iazor. Is that right?
Isasaur, I think.
Isasaur.
Can I? And do you want me to do this one? I know it.
Probably 504 is
Loxana Troy.
Laksana Troy. If you are a Star Trek TNG fan,
Over here. Pick me.
is it you?
I'm a huge TNG fan.
I also watch almost every. I'm pretty sure maybe I watched every episode.
My partner grew up in a cabin in the woods, and so there's so much TV from the 90s he hasn't seen.
Wow.
And so I get to introduce him to stuff like we watched Dirty Dancing together for the first
There's so
time.
much awesome and terrible
I
TV
know.
from the 90s.
So the only movie he'd seen from the 90s was like Speed, because it was on LEO's Night at the Movies on TVO. So I got to watch all of TNG with him, and it was absolutely incredible. So I'm very excited to see Loxana Troy, I think it is.
Loaxania Troy.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to say, but it's a
It
great
looks like
name.
they've given us permission just to call her Troy. I think I'll be
Troy.
calling her Counselor.
Counselor.
It's so 80s, 90s to have a therapist on board. I love it. Anyway,
That's right.
we could talk about TNG all night, but this bout's starting in 2 minutes.
Can we talk about TNG all night?
Yeah, you tuned into the Star Trek Next Gen show with Professor Rex and
That's
Malcolm
right. That one episode,
What's your
first or
favorite
second episode when Data was like whistling in the holodeck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. He's
I
just
like first
trying to
season
learn how
because
to
they
whistle.
obviously haven't figured out what they're doing.
No, they have no idea what they're
My
doing.
favorite episode to hate watch
They kill
is,
people off right away.
Well, because head of security hated it there.
I know.
It was so much sexism. I can't remember her name because I'm
Okay,
having a brain fart.
I think we've rambled a bit too much. Maybe
Oh my gosh.
number
I want to talk about Worf in a
517,
second.
invasive species. I hope that's right. Number 66, Crush Thulaman.
Oh,
Thulamum.
it's like chrysanthemum.
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 Wow, that's really good. That's really
Please
good.
excuse us. This is the first time we're seeing this
717
roster.
Infection Vixen, or Flick, which is Infliction Vixen. There we go. Or Flick. Number 74, Warhol. Number 77, Eddie Electric. Number 8, Rogue One.
What is up with this team with the Star Wars references and the TNG references?
I know, this team is the best. Number 93, Ricky Tink.
Rinky Tink.
Rinky Tink. I did see this roster before, and I was hoping that Rinky Tink, I thought it was Ricky Tink, and I was hoping that it was a...
Ricky Tikki Tavi?
No, from Rick and Morty. Has anyone seen Rick
Oh.
and Morty at home? If you haven't, check out Rick and Morty. It's the greatest show ever.
Haven't seen Rick and Morty. And on the bench for in Lansing is PH Demon and Bert Hurt. Let's run through Les Québécois real quick before they take to the track. Les Québécois is from Roller Derby Sherbrooke, Roller Derby Trois-Rivières, and Roller Derby Lévis. They're the only Quebec team here, so that's why they're called Les Québécois. Bruce Wheellease 0, Little Witch 03, Scary Price 04, Mimsane in the Brain 06, Valkyrie 28, La Planteuse 33, Trigger 5357, Beelzebubs 416, Roadrunner, not the official song of Massachusetts, but they tried, 49, Gigi Crackaface 65, and Destroy 922, and John Doe 96 on the bench, Kent Simi and Per Evil.
Just an update from the roster. Andy Stroy and Bruce Willis are not here today.
Bruce Willis, it means
Bruce Willis.
soft in French.
Right.
Lis, or not soft, lis.
My French is just as bad as my English, so it's not going to be a good. It's not going to be a good game for me.
Mon français est si mauvais que mon anglais, mais je parle pas quand même. My French is as bad as my English, but I speak both quand même the same. Lis is when like soft floor, like shiny floor.
But just a quick correction, there is another Quebec team from Montreal. Montreal
really?
Splash Squad is here.
Oh,
They're
thanks.
just at 10 Reeves.
Look at that. In black, number 28, Valkyrie is the lead jammer, getting out there real fast. On turn 1 there, we've got Vixen?
Yeah, Infliction Vixen, so we can call her Flick.
Flick, 717 from Ann Lansing.
I had the privilege of watching Le Québécois play earlier today, and Valkyrie was just lighting up the team earlier today. They were unable to stop her. She is going to be the potential jammer of this tournament. If other teams can't figure out how to stop her from scoring, she's going to score pretty much every time she's on the track.
Worth mentioning, this is Professor Rex's 4th 20-minute game on the mic. This is my 2nd one. If we lose our words, just, tweet at us. We're both from Royal City Roller Girls. You can tweet us at Royal City Roller if we miss anything or if you want to compliment our math skills.
But it's only my second beer, so I'm doing pretty good.
High fives to Professor Rex. Little Witch is struggling with 2 Lansing jammer or blockers, and she gets lead jammer right on the apex.
Little Witch as well is a very accomplished jammer. I watched her in the last game. She did really well for Le Quebecois. Very strong on her feet. Not quite as agile as Valkyrie, but very knowledgeable of where she is on the track and her team and the opposing jammer, which is really, really important.
Big hole on the outside. Little Witch is able to stop at the back of that pyramid, hop around a bit, and then just slide into the outside. That's 5 points for Les Québécois, and the Dixons from Ann Lansing have 0. What's going to happen this third jam, Rex?
If Valkyrie's out there, I have a hard time believing that she isn't going to get lead jammer. She is that good. But the
Wow,
Ann
lots of
Lansing
commotion
Dixons
there.
have really taken a tour of this jam and trying to make sure that she doesn't. But she's able to prevail regardless and get out and get lead jam before turn 1.
Your prediction is correct. I'm hearing the penalty whistle. There's a multiplayer block being called against someone, against Gigi Crackface.
Yeah, it is against Le Quebecois blocker, Gigi Crackface. Le Quebecois will be starting the next jam with 2 blockers on the track. It hasn't seemed to stop them in either game so far. The previous game they did play against Windsor Assault and dominated that game as well. Unfortunately, Windsor Assault was going to the box, their jammers were going to the box a little bit too much to keep in that game. Mimsane in the brain is on the track as a pivot for Le Quebecois. I can't quite see the number of the other blocker. I will try and get it to you as soon as I can. Hopefully, and Lansing Dixons can take advantage of this jam as being up the blocker advantage. And it looks like they do. They can potentially get their first lead jam in this game, and they do. Genergy, 2-1. Genergy has gotten lead jam for her team.
And Little Witch follows her very closely, causing Genergy to call it off.
Yeah, that's right. And Lansing Dixons their pack was at the back of the pack. If you do that and your team has lead, it's very difficult for your jammer to try and get points because the point potential is another 10 feet in front.
Reminder, how Derby works is the humans are the points and the jammers, the one with the stars on their helmet, are the point scorers. So if all of your points are standing at the front of the pack, the opposing players are your points. So if all of them are standing at the front, you have to kind of make it through your blockers to get all those points.
That's right. And
so multiplayer blocking, yeah.
Put up there. Valkyrie, number 2-8 for Le Quebecois. I think she's on a run of 100% lead jam so far in both games, which is an incredible feat, even at a 2-fresh tournament.
Runs through that pack on the inside, getting a tiny bit of help from John Doe, and that is a 4-point jam for Valkyrie. You are right. Oh, you have so many names, Craig. You have a ref name, a coach name, a human name.
I'm so vain.
I know. I'm just going to call you everything at once.
But that was a very well-timed offensive block from Jane Doe. Offense is an important thing to learn in roller derby. Just as maybe not as important as defense. If your defense is solid, you may not need as much offense, but you definitely need some for sure.
Wow, 77 from Ann Lansing. Edie Electric running up the inside there, gets stopped at the last second. Little Witch gets out, but she had to work a bit harder than any other jammer from Les Québécois has had to work yet today. She might be able to lap Edie Electric. She does. She comes to a restoring pass. Edie Electric is still in the pack. Edie Electric makes it out. A cheer from her bench. Little Witch on her scoring pass.
That's true. That's true. Le Quebecois has had all of the lead jams of this game, but
no, Edie Electric was actually lead jammer. Little Witch must have done something.
Good eye. They've gotten out at the pack at least first and in scoring position first. But despite that, they're only winning by 15 points. I'm chalking that up to the fact that Ann Lansing Dixons has been able to keep their jammers on the track. The previous game, Le Quebecois at this point would have had 2 or 3 power jams already and had put up a number of points in the opposing team. So I wouldn't count Ann Lansing Dixons out of this game at all. A 15-point lead may as well be a tie score in roller derby.
Yeah, nothing. Especially in these tiny little 20-minute games, you can really, really come back hard. It's jam by jam in these 20-minute games. Another thing is Valkyrie gets lead and then she gets 1 point. That's happened two jams at least, if not 3. And it is a great strategy to chip away, to destroy the other jammer's soul, the other team's soul, by continually having them do 0-point jams. But in 2 or 3 jams, if you're just getting 1 point, yeah, that 15 points is normal.
Yeah, Le Québécois calling an official review. I'd like to have a little microphone in there to see what they were asking about.
I always assume they're talking about ponies and puppy dogs.
Or
what's your favorite kind?
That or unicorns or
Unicorns, kittens, pegacorns. That's a unicorn with wings.
That's
it's one of my areas of expertise. I made you laugh, cough.
I know. Well, that's because I used to smoke, but I don't anymore. So
congratulations.
It's been a long time.
That's a big deal. Yeah. How many years have you been non-smoking?
Close to 2 now, I guess.
That's a big deal. I'm surprised we haven't had a celebration in our league. Both Professor Rex and I skate with, ref with, coach with. We do one of everything. Sometimes NSO with Royal City Roller Girls.
Valkyrie again. Wow, she just is completely tearing apart every team she's played today.
They've put Ann Lansing has put Pretty Bullet on the track. See if she can jam. This time Valkyrie gets 4 points, casually calls it off before Ann Lansing can get anything on the board.
Yeah, and Valkyrie, at this tournament, players have only played or been on skates for 12 months. If they've had previous skating experience, they may have been on skates in other sports.
But 12 months is the maximum.
Is the maximum amount of time.
There's some people who have been on skates 4 months.
I know, and Valkyrie's skating ability and pack awareness is really high.
Where did she get it? Where did it come from?
Someone, she either taught herself or someone taught her for sure. That's generally how it happens. And
Little Witch with a huge bean dip.
Yes, the old bean dip.
Looks like Little Witch gets lead jammer while 42.
Isasaur.
Isasaur.
There we go.
Very tall jammer. Love me a tall jammer. She gets through the pack on the apex. Little Witch calls it off 4 points. Les Québécois expanding their lead.
They have, and I know Ann Lansing doesn't still have a 0 on the board here, but 23 points is still not a huge lead.
We had a 35-point jam in the last game. It's possible. So the biggest 12 minutes, 41 seconds left in this game. The biggest thing I don't want Ann Lansing to be doing on their bench is to be getting down, to be thinking it's not possible.
Yeah, I think if Ann Lansing loses this jam, which they just did, unfortunately, to Valkyrie, they may have to think about a timeout and just calm themselves, talk to each other, relax a little bit, and just say, hey, we're still in this game. We can make this happen.
Infliction Vixen gets through before turn 1. She is the lead jammer, even though Valkyrie got out first.
I think Ann Lansing just got to put points on the board. Hopefully they keep it running here. And they do. Nice job. Nice job by Infliction Vixen.
Valkyrie went to the box while Professor Rex and I wasn't looking. It's a power jam for Ann Lansing Vixens. They get their first 5 points on the board. Their bench is counting down the number of seconds left in their power jam. Valkyrie returns to the track. That was a successful 10-point power jam for the Dixons.
It is, and Valkyrie's on her first pass, so the Ann Lansing Dixons jammer has time to score more points and just did 4 points this time. Unfortunately, Valkyrie did enter the track before scoring points. So it was only 4 points instead of 5, but still in position again to put some more points on the board for her team, and calls it off quickly. Very, very smart call off from the Ann Lansing Dixon jammer, putting up one more point for 15. That's 23-15. What did I just say before this jam happened? I'm pretty sure I said that this game is anyone's game still.
Exactly, and that totally changes the tone in the bubble. The 3 whistles go off. What do you know? Les Québécois have called the team timeout. Little chat amongst themselves. 11 minutes left. The scoreboard is going to freeze for a little while, and exactly a minute actually, for this team timeout.
That's good.
8 points. 8 points. I did the math.
8 points. That's good. That's good math. If on the bench now for Ann Lansing Dixons, this is an important timeout because Le Quebecois is essentially taking this timeout to hopefully take the wind out of Anne Lansing-Dixon's sails and get themselves righted and get their ship righted in the right direction. When you're coaching the opposing team who has just made the other team call timeout, you really need to make sure that you're taking advantage of the same timeout as well to keep your team focused and ready and let them know that you've done everything you can in this game to stay in it and you're not out and you can make this game happen for yourselves.
Exactly. Let's take a little wider view. You are listening to the Fresh and the Furious tournament on Layer 9. You're watching it as well. If you want to know more information about the schedule, click on your video, go up to the I icon, not I as in on your face, but the letter I. And it'll take you to the Layer 9 website. You can see the entire schedule. You can see all the rosters because I get so confused about tournaments, about who's playing who and what the heck is going on.
It's true. I think it updates as well as the day goes on. So as it changes, you can just check that throughout the day and find out what's going on.
And eventually, after as the finals start, the bubble shuts down and we move over to the arena. I brought an outfit change for that. Wow, with a skip and a jump, Little Witch makes it through on the outside. Gainsley Jammer.
The Genergy attempting a star pass, but gets through on her own regardless.
Just uses it as a confuser blocker tactic and is able to get through. Little Witch is coming up against a hard blocking wall, causing
I'm pretty sure. Wow, and Lansing-Dixon's prevent Little Witch from scoring any points in that jam. That's a huge...
No, they scored 2 points.
They scored 2 points. I'm sorry.
But that was still a very impressive blocking from the back there. To see them hold her back for a good 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a long time in a jam.
I like when I get excited for no reason.
I got excited, so I started talking with my Manitoba accent there, my Ottawa Valley via Manitoba.
Can we go back to talk about TNG again?
Oh, my favorite episode to hate watch is the Worf gets disabled one. And as a person living with disabilities where he's just like, please murder me for being disabled, that one enrages me. I've hate watched it a bunch of times.
Valkyrie again, lead jam. I think the only time she isn't in the front scoring points is when she's in the penalty box or on the bench or in the penalty box. So she is a very accomplished jammer for the Quebecois. Oh, a nice attempt at a hit from number 36 of Anne Lansing.
Not enough to keep Valkyrie. Not enough to keep Valkyrie back. She gets her usual 4 points. She hasn't done that 1 point jobby in a little while.
On the flip side, my favorite episode with Worf in it is when it was like a relative or someone dies in his family. And he just, when they die, he just erupts into this like rage yell.
Yeah, the battle cry funeral yell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, it gave me chills when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If I watch it now, it'd probably be pretty cheesy,
I've met Michael Dorn because I go to cons, and he is like the sweetest, most kindest human.
I bet he is.
Yeah.
I want to meet him as well.
LeVar Burton has a lot of ideas about men of color and sex on the show, and why LeVar never got to hook up. Well, why, Geordie LaForge never got to hook up. Wow.
Oh, a huge hit from number 37. That was a very, very big hit. Ms. Hyde. Unfortunately, it was on Little Witch's shoulder. It did look like a clean hit to me. Little Witch may have been straddling the line, which technically speaking is still in play. I didn't have the angles on it to see if she was going in the right direction or not, but it's possible that the referees may come together. They usually do when something like this happens and ask if anyone saw anything or what the impact spectrum was.
Our wonderful sponsors from Spectrum One, the medics, are coming out to help. It's also worth mentioning our other sponsors, Mill Street Brewery, a local Toronto craft brewery committed to brewing and award-winning beers, are in the house today. I see you drinking a West Coast style IPA. How's that going down?
The IPA is really good. It's not as IPA as most IPAs, if that's a thing. I'm gonna start a thing. It's not as IPA as other IPAs I've had, but it's really, really good. If you do make your way down to the Bubble or Ted Reeve, you should try out the West Coast style IPA.
I'm going to say some beer words. I see some hops there. Is it a hoppy beer?
It is. Again, it's probably low on the IBU scale. If I'm trying to talk beer like
those
I know what I'm talking
words.
about.
Yeah,
those
me
are definitely
too.
beer
I said
words.
hoppy. Yeah.
Yeah, hops, IBU, IPA.
Beer.
It's quite good, but they have a wide variety. And all of them are only $5, which is really, really great.
The Professor Rex Malcontent Reynolds Show, where we talk about TNG and beer. Which is well outside of my area of interest. I've been sober 17 years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We can talk about favorite root beers, for sure.
What is in my interest, though, is food. And there's a few food trucks here. The Eggman, offering assortment of breakfast foods for your morning food truck experience. If you want to come down, make your way down, you can definitely get some breakfast from a food truck. I have never had breakfast from a food truck, but one of my favorite meals in the day is breakfast.
What's your favorite breakfast food?
I am a fan of the omelet because
Yeah.
you can just kind of smash it all together
Yeah.
and throw whatever you want into it. And
It's
it's
really
great.
hard to do it wrong, the
It
omelet.
is really hard. I've seen people do it wrong.
Yeah, because people are idiots.
People are definitely idiots.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult to do it wrong. And when people do it wrong, I'm always really, really impressed by them.
Yeah, like how? I have no words. One of my favorite breakfast foods is something I never make at home, and it's something when I biked across Iowa with my partner, Little Witch is Up with the help of the medics. There was a breakfast taco truck, like egg tacos. It was the best.
Yeah, it looks like Little Witch isn't injured. It may have just been like what I would like to call like a
Shaken up.
shaken up or
Yeah.
like a stinger. Like it was a high impact hit that probably hurt a lot. And sometimes when you get those, you aren't quite sure if you're injured personally yet, and you need to take a second to figure yourself out.
Exactly.
Which
Speaking
is
as a
fine.
skater,
you need to do that.
yeah,
Right?
you and it's when I coach fresh meat, I would say if you get a hit where you may not have a concussion, but you see white or you're confused about where you are, stay down. It's better to get the jam called off than to get back on your feet when you're not sure what your name is or where you are.
That's right. Because sometimes you aren't quite sure how much it actually hurts or
Yep.
if it's actually hurting at all. It just might be like
You're just confused.
a mental thing or
you
confusion thing. So
it's not a concussion, but you get hit so hard that you're confused about life and everything. So
What?
just take your time, stay down.
I'm confused about life all the time, and I'm
I
never
know.
concussed.
And they gave you a mic.
They gave me a microphone
I'm
and beer.
constantly shocked that folks give me microphones.
Unfortunately, I think the Ann Lansing-Dixon's jammer got a forearm penalty called from Nightingale, another person from Royal City. He's trying to get her off the track. Unfortunately,
Oh man.
I think he gave her a second for an insubordination for not leaving the track early enough.
Valkyrie's the only one on the track. She's going
That's-
to rack up some points now.
That's not good. If Nightingale gave a second penalty, that's an entire minute jam for Valkyrie.
There's
That
also
is-
2 pairs of jean shorts on the track.
I know. I wish I brought mine.
I love the jorts.
I wish I brought mine.
Jorts Appreciation Society.
If if Valkyrie has a full minute jam, she can definitely put up a lot of points. That's like old school derby, a full minute power jam.
Yeah, before 2014 when the rule change happened, I think, we used to have minute-long sitting out times, which is also called penalties.
Right.
Nouns are hard.
Yeah, you take a
Quiet time.
quiet time, in the corner.
In the corner. And so now for 3 years we played with the new rule set that has 30-second jams or 30-second penalties. It really changes the way that we play the game. You only get a minute penalty if you do 2 bad things on the track, like cutting the track and then not listening to a ref, which I think is what happened.
Right. I don't think the Ann Lansing-Dixon's jammer got a second penalty. I thought I saw Nightingale signal the insubordination hand signal. But I may have been mistaken. So
I got my first in-sub a month or 2 ago.
I think myself as a coach, I've gotten many in-subs, but that was like years
Because
and years
you
ago
won't leave the track
when I was a
'cause you're
very
yelling at
angry
people.
man. I was a very angry polar bear.
Oh, new name to call you, Professor Rex, the Angry Polar Bear. Wow, check that out, Ann Lansing. Edie Electric just slips by on the outside, another tall jammer. And the Les Québécois jammer has not even done her first pass. She is working hard. Looks like they put a new jammer in, which I love. Trigger is the Les Québécois jammer. I love it when a team is in lead and they say, you go try B.
It is. Sometimes it works in your favor, and other times it may not. If you do sit other potential jammers in the game for a long time, they do have a tendency sometimes to not get in jammer mode. And any jammer out there understands what jammer mode is. You kind of have to have a mindset for it because it's an on-off switch, as opposed to like thinking about multiple things at the same time.
I like it because this tournament is all about learning. It's all about being a new player, and a lot of times you don't know if you're a jammer yet. And I like when teams are willing to get a little bit of a lead and put new jammers in, because you got to try in a gameplay situation before you know whether or not you're a jammer.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, especially here, like players need to do as many things as they can. early on in this tournament, especially because you have a few gimmies, if for lack of a better term, you
where
can
we see
lose a game or
wide
two
point spreads,
and still make it to the finals.
And it's really hard to assume what's going on in this tournament because you can have a batch of fresh meat who are really strong and gel together. You can have a batch of fresh meat who all came from hockey or figure skating, and you can have a batch of fresh meat who are all brand new.
Mimsane pivot for the Quebecois with a nice block on the outside of the Ann Lansing-Dixon's jammer.
Isasaur, the Ann Lansing jammer, having the jam called off before she's able to exit. She nearly cut there, but again, with a new rule set change that was fairly recent, if you do come back in after you get hit out, if you come in front of people, as long as your first intentional movement is to leave. So we're seeing a lot less cutting penalties because of that.
It's kind of like the Canadian cut. Like, you know how it's like, I cut.
No,
but
no,
I'm
no.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No.
I really mean good. It's like intention and good heart.
That's right. I'll go in the back of the line. I didn't mean to cut anyone.
Don't punish me, Dad.
I think we need to call it the Canadian cut for now on.
That's totally going to be a thing. Ann Lansing Derby, Dixon's 24 to Les Québécois 54. We're going to have a bit of a jammer fight. If the Ann Lansing jammer can catch up to Vixen, which may not be possible. Wow!
Valkyrie getting bumped pretty hard, trying to take that inside line. She did pick up her 4 points.
An excellent blocking from Ann Lansing. Nicely done. They've had a couple of shining moments here where they've really worked together as a wall.
And this game is still pretty close, 58-24. Again, math. So they're different. They're separated by an amount that math makes sense. But
if anyone wants to do the math and tweet at us at Royal City Roller, we'd love it. We don't do math.
I could do the math, but that makes me think too hard. I just like to freewheel,
I can smell the gears grinding.
Yeah, it's
a little bit of a confuse jammer with the whistle went, but they're like, hey, yeah, is that true, yeah?
It is a nice job by Pretty Bullet and Lansing Dixons. This is a very, very important lead jam for them. Hopefully they can put a lot of points on the board. It looks like they're also in a power jam here. If they can put up a decent amount of points in this jam, they can definitely have enough time to get the points that they need to win this game, and they do. That's 5 points so far. That makes it 58-29.
So media, we're seeing them line up in a 2x2 passive offense, but they're offering active offense, but this is the hard part. Active offense is really hard. You got to get in front of the blockers. It's working, but they're doing this thing that actually speeds the pack up and pushes the other blockers forward. We're seeing Ann Lansing bench again counting down that power jam for their entire bench.
Oh, nice job by Pretty Bullet taking that inside line. Scores 4 points on that pass. That's 14 so far. If I was Ann Lansing, I would keep it going, but their bench is telling them to call it off.
That was La Planteuse as a jammer for Les Québécois. I haven't seen her jam yet, and she is one of the Jorts Club. Jean shorts.
Yeah, I love the jorts.
I
don't wear them as much. I get a hard time about the jorts sometimes.
People just wait. So I am, for the folks at home who can't see me, I am a more masculine presenting woman, what we call soft butch or low femme. I will be wearing a dress for the finals. Wait till you see the comments that I get. Two spearhead, also Fight of the Concords, and I call it gender, I forget.
Now I wish I was announcing with you for the last game, and I wish I also brought a dress, because that would be quite incredible to see you in a dress and see me in a dress, because I don't think many people would mistake me for anywhere near feminine. But if I'm wearing a dress, it's quite possible that they may.
And it's worth mentioning here as we talk about dresses and gender presentation that roller derby is a sport that folks who are women identified, gender nonconforming are welcome to play. Also, it's a sport where we allow you to wear whatever religious equipment you wear. So, for example, hijabi athletes have been contentious. Just recently, FIBA, the Basketball Association, allowed people at high-level play to wear hijabs, and there have been many athletes like Bilquis who were kept out of play at high-level basketball because they were waiting for this decision to be made. I know that the Soccer Federation waited a long time to make the decision to allow hijab. At roller derby, it's always been no big deal. Wear a hijab. If you have a hijab, it fits under your helmet. It's great. I know people who don't even wear the sports hijab. They just wear their regular everyday hijab. So hijab is welcome at roller derby. Please join Fresh Meat. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm not going to add to any of that because that was perfect.
Perfect. I'm perfect. If you want to read more about hijabi in sport and hijabi ballers in general, check out Shireen Ahmed, my friend, on Twitter. She's absolutely incredible.
It looks like Ann Lansing-Dixons are looking for the star stash, possibly. It does work for number 717, number 717 in Fiction Vixen. Huge hit from Valkyrie, trying to take that outside line, but getting disrupted by the Ann Lansing-Dixon's defensive wall.
In Vixen getting hit out bigly on the turn one there, and spinning around, recovers very quickly from that hit. It returns to the back, which is soul destroying for most jammers. She doesn't get soul destroyed. She immediately takes that inside line and swoops in. It's beautiful jamming.
It is, but that is definitely the correct word, bigly.
Bigly.
Bigly is definitely the correct
She got
word for
hit
that.
bigly. This is, again, our league is very small in Guelph. These are big players with big hits.
Yeah.
We hit
Valkyrie
big and
again.
small players.
Man, Le Quebecois, Valkyrie, just dominating all teams so far this tournament.
Isasaurus reminding me of La Grande Narsoire from Montreal Roller Derby. Very tall and an amazing jammer. She's heading to the box. It's a power jam. En français, c'est super jam. Let's see what Les Québécois, especially Valkyrie, does with a super jam.
It is, there's only 25 seconds left on the clock for Le Quebecois and Valkyrie. They have control of this jam because she's lead. Technically speaking, Valkyrie doesn't have to engage in this pack at all for fear of potentially taking a penalty.
Worth explaining how the end of the game works.
It is, yeah.
You follow the jam clock, not the period clock. So you see that 06 on your screen. We will go with a full minute if Valkyrie, the lead jammer, wants to go the full minutes. She doesn't, she calls it off. The unofficial final is 73 Les Québécoises and 38 Ann Lansing-Dixons.
Yeah, Valkyrie again. I would like, if I had stats or a stats sheet available to me, I would like to see the numbers on her.
If we had Captain Lou Albamo here to do stats for us, shout out to him.
He would definitely be keeping up on all these stats. But Valkyrie, for my knowledge, has only not gotten the lead jammer when she went to the penalty box once in 2 games so far. That's a 40-minute period of getting lead jammer and also not going to the penalty box as a jammer. That's quite incredible.
Absolutely incredible. And reminder, everybody here is less than 12 months old in Derby. Some are only 4 months old, just recently passed their minimum skills testing.
And they were able to name themselves despite being 12 months old.
4 months old. You get to choose your own name. It's a big deal. These are, in our league, we call them baby chicks, and they've got a lot of help from their mama hens, a lot of support. We love fresh meat, and you're seeing it pay off in this the Fresh and the Furious tournament 2017.
That's right.
What you can't see on camera is
one of the referees who's just skating by the camera right now did do a little trip up on the on one of the ropes that make this live feed happen to you at home. Again, Coach, if you are at home, sorry to interrupt, if you're at home and you are close enough to the beaches in Toronto, try and make yourself available for this tournament live.
Get your backside trackside.
Get your backside trackside.
As Lightning Slim would
I'm not
say.
quite sure what it'll cost right now. They may even, I'm not going to speak for anyone, but it may even be a different price at the door than it is right now because it's halfway through the day.
There's food trucks.
There's
beer.
food trucks. There's beer. There's derby equipment supplied by Rumbling the Rage, Neon Skates, Monster Muffin. All those places are here at the Ted Reeves Arena. If you need something, please come down and purchase something.
The swooping whistle went. The official final is 77 for Les Québécoises and 38 for Ann Lansing-Dixons. That was a great match. The teams are both taking to the track to get their high fives from the crowd. Up next, who knows? Click on the link in the I button in your screen. Click on the video, then click on the I icon. Find out who is next. I will be leaving both. Rex is up next on the mic, and then I will be doing house announcing. It's Rex back with Trouble T, who you heard this morning. Back with more Derby in the Ted Reeve bubble in Toronto. Pop on by if you're close. If you're not, keep watching live on YouTube.